And much later on the program, High Court maintains July 3, 2026 as date to deliver judgment on Chairman Wontumi Samuel trial, despite a significant change in the accused person's legal team. And news just in, the police have arrested the suspect involved in the murder of the UCC student, and we'll bring you updates in this bulletin. In our first story, Deputy Commissioner of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Bosman Asare, resigned and headed back to the lecture room. This was announced by the Minister of Government Communications, Felix Kwachofus, to join a press conference where he noted that following the resignation and also retirement of Deputy Commissioner Samuel Tete, the Council of State is considering a nominee to replace him.
Dr. Bosman Asare, I can also confirm that he has submitted a letter to His Excellency the President indicating that effective 31st July 2026, he would resign his position as Deputy Chairperson of the Electoral Commission. He gives a reason for his resignation, which is that he wants to go back to academia and pursue his career as a staff of the University of Ghana, and conveyed his thanks and appreciation to the President and people of Ghana for giving him the opportunity to serve in that capacity. We are also aware that a second chairperson, in the person of Mr. Samuel Tete, has also gone on retirement as, I beg your pardon, a member of the Electoral Commission or a deputy chairperson. And in that regard, processes are underway. Indeed, the Council of State has already been given a nominee, which they are considering. And once that process is completed, an announcement will be made in terms of the replacement for Mr. Tete. And then in due course, a replacement will be found for Dr. Bosman Asare. So I can confirm the resignation of these two people.
And still on resignations, the Minister of Government Communications, Felix Kwachofus, also announced that President John Mahama has accepted the resignation of Sofa Akufo from the Council of State. He said that the processes are underway to replace her.
I can confirm that indeed Justice Sofa Abi Akufo has resigned from her position as a member of the Council of State. She submitted a letter in September 2025 to the President indicating her desire to resign. She did not disclose the reason for wanting to resign. When the President received the letter, he was required then to indicate his acceptance of the resignation. But the behest of the Council of State, he had to hold on because they said they wanted to engage Justice Sofa Akufo to see if there was some grievance that she had that was informing the resignation and whether or not there was a way that it could be addressed. So they asked the President to hold on with the acceptance. But they got back and said that they had engaged, and as far as they were concerned, the resignation could be accepted. So the President has formally accepted her resignation, and she's no longer a member of the Council of State.
In other news, the Ghana Police Service has arrested the suspect, Michael Mensah, aged 39, for the murder of Innocentia Avino. We understand that the suspect was arrested by the RGP Cyber Vetting and Enforcement Team yesterday, the 15th of June 2026, at about 7:15 p.m. at the Pedu Lorry Station, Cape Coast, following sustained intelligence-led operations. A statement posted on the Facebook page of the Ghana Police Service about 2 hours ago said that preliminary investigation has revealed that on 11th June 2026 at about 6:48 p.m., the suspect, who claims to be a teacher by profession but also works as a driver, picked the deceased from Ayensu Plaza within the University of Cape Coast Hostel Enclave and took her to Hatchland Beach, where she was last seen. Investigations, we understand, continue, and any further development will be duly communicated. And that's a statement, like I did tell you, posted on the Facebook page of the Ghana Police Service. Meanwhile, the Central Regional Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Police Service also says that preliminary findings test Innocentia Avino, a level 200 student of the University of Cape Coast, may have died before her body was washed ashore. Police have also dismissed reports suggesting that parts of the deceased body were missing. A report by Thomas Khan.
The Central Regional Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Police Service, Chief Inspector Isaac Evans Eti, said investigations into the circumstances surrounding the student's death are still ongoing. According to him, preliminary findings suggest Innocentia may have died before her body was washed ashore.
From our initial investigation, suspected that the 20th day of Innocentia may have died before she was drowned. We are not ruling anything out. It's a suspicion. We'll work on that, and we'll also work on other avenues to bring this matter to a logical conclusion. Any information on this news, if the public has it, can contact the command.
He further stated that when police officers arrived at the scene, the body was intact, contrary to claims circulating online that some body parts were missing.
The crime scene investigating team was called to process the crime scene, where we saw that blood was oozing from the nose and some cuts on the upper eyebrows. Both eyebrows were some tiny cuts were there. Some blood also stains were there. When the crime scene investigators processed the crime scene, from what we saw, there was no body parts missing. Everything, according to what we saw, was intact.
He added that police have intensified security and intelligence operations in and around the University of Cape Coast community and appealed to the public to volunteer any relevant information that could assist with investigations. Meanwhile, Director of Public Affairs of University of Cape Coast, Dr. Kwabena Enchi Konedu, intimated that it is premature to speculate as to the cause of her death, as that may jeopardize the investigation.
We will come out as and when we've been able to clear some of the investigations the police are doing. At the university level also, we are doing all that we can to support the student and colleagues, and of course the classmate, the hostel mate. Even though the hostel is not on campus, even though the issue didn't happen on the university campus, it is our responsibility at this point, as we do always, to counsel the student and to help support the police and the family the way the university is structured to do.
Some students have been sharing their thoughts on the incident.
For her being a student, at least there are some things she shouldn't have given open doors to. Like, in the first place, for her case, the guy that said he went to meet, she didn't know him, but because she felt like it's online thing, so she felt like going out with him in the first place. So to me, it wasn't the best decision to take. To me, there should be improvement on the security.
It's a very sad incident. It's really and we all don't know the cause of it, and we are all hoping we get to know the cause of it. But all I want to say is, we as students, we have to just protect ourselves wherever we go. We ought to let our friends or roommates know where we are going.
Meanwhile, the police is cautioning media houses, especially bloggers, against spreading unverified information regarding the death of Innocentia Avinu.
Some more here, and the government has refuted claims by the opposition that a downsized staff at the presidency has led to an increased remuneration of staff salaries. Now, following criticism over the staffing list presented to Parliament last week, the government spokesperson and Minister of Government Communications, Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, dismissed the claims as unfounded. Now, he insisted that the current remuneration structure was determined under the previous Akufo-Addo administration.
Why did the numbers increase from the figure you mentioned in 2023 in 2024? In 2025, it was 100 million, which was smaller than what was earned in 2024. The reason is simple. As of the end of 2024, the emoluments committee set up by President Akufo-Addo, and I've given you the name of the person who chaired it, a distinguished legal practitioner called Dr. Mrs. Janet Ampedu Fofie, she chaired a committee that determined the conditions of service, including salaries of appointees under President Akufo-Addo. The 2024 budget did not capture this work. That budget was read in November 2023. They couldn't have known what the committee would recommend. After the committee recommended this, I'm telling you that appointees and President Akufo-Addo have been given a top-up, a difference between what they took, which amounts to that 125 we speak about, and what the committee had determined. Logic, common sense would indicate clearly that the amount they took is higher than what is in the budget. Because at the time the budget was being prepared, their conditions had not been determined.
Now, the Accra High Court has maintained July 3 as the day to deliver judgment in the case against the MPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Enchibuesi-Akon, also known as Chairman Wontumi. This was after it ruled that it does not have the power to grant a request by lawyers for Chairman Wontumi to withdraw from the case. The court, however, extended its order directing relevant analyses on how the case was being conducted so far to be filed by June 23 from the earlier date of 17th of June. Chairman Wontumi has meanwhile announced former Ebuakwa South MP and lawyer Samuel Atachia as his new lead defense counsel in the Samre Boy case. In a statement, he explained that the decision was taken after careful consultation and in exercise of his constitutional right to legal representation by counsel of his choice. He also said that the move is intended to ensure his defense is presented fully and effectively in accordance with law, and as an accused person, he is entitled to the presumption of innocence until proven guilty by the competent court. Now, a close friend and a mentee of former Minister for Foreign Affairs and former President of ECOWAS Commission, Ambassador James Victor Gbehu, has eulogized the veteran diplomat, describing him as a servant of Ghana and a voice for Africa and the world at large. Ambassador James Victor Gbehu passed away at age 99, bringing to a close a distinguished career in diplomacy and public service that spanned several decades. George Quainin reports.
Born on January 12, 1935 in Keita in the Volta region, Ambassador James Victor Gbehu recently celebrated his 91st birthday until his demise. He was widely regarded as one of Ghana's most accomplished diplomats with a career that left a lasting impact on both national and regional affairs. Throughout his years in public service, Ambassador Gbehu held several key positions, including serving as Ghana's Minister for Foreign Affairs from 1997 to 2001 under the administration of former President Jerry John Rawlings. Following his tenure as Foreign Affairs Minister, he represented the Anlo constituency in Parliament between 2001 and 2005. He later served as a foreign policy advisor to the late President John Evans Atta Mills, contributing significantly to Ghana's international relations and diplomatic engagements.
He decided not to chase noise. Some people are noisy diplomats, because some diplomats have been in our part of the world and then they were fighting with even pastors. He showcased to all of us that diplomacy is not just the signing of treaties and shaking of hands. It's also about protecting people and defending sovereignty of nations and representing one's country with honor and dignity as the world watches. So Ghana mourns his departure, and we would say that he serves the nation well as a great statesman, as a seasoned diplomat. He's mentored a lot of people. We all looked at him, knowing his principles and knowing how to even mentor other people.
Ambassador Gbehu also served as Ghana's permanent representative to the United Nations in New York from 1980 to 1990 and undertook ambassadorial assignments in Geneva and other major diplomatic centers. In 2010, he was unanimously elected president of the ECOWAS Commission, a position he held until 2012. During his tenure, he was instrumental in promoting regional integration, cooperation and stability across West Africa.
He was a personal friend. Very personal. He would call me at any time he needed something. Anytime he wanted me to do something at the Legon Center for International Affairs and Diplomacy, If there is an international issue going on, he would prompt me and would want me to comment. Things like that. I revere him because when I was a student, before I heard of him as an ambassador, and then as Ghana's representative at the UN, he has channeled the path where most of us are proud of. Wow. When you talk of the giants in Ghana's foreign policy, he's about one of them.
Beyond his public service achievement, Ambassador James Victor Gbeho came from a family renowned for its contributions to Ghana's history and culture. He was the son of Philip Gbeho, the celebrated composer who arranged Ghana's national anthem, and the uncle of the late broadcaster Komla Dumont. His passing marks the loss of a respected statesman whose contributions to diplomacy, governance and regional cooperation earned him admiration both in Ghana and across the continent. Meanwhile, a book of condolence has been opened in his honor at his private residence at Airport Accra. The family is expected to announce details of his funeral and burial arrangement in due course. George Queenan, TV3 News, Accra.
In other news, Ghana will play host to world leaders, policymakers and dignitaries from over 80 countries as the country takes the next steps after securing a UN resolution which declared the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. About 10 presidents, including Emmanuel Macron of France and the Prime Minister of Barbados, have confirmed their participation in the Next Steps conference, which aims to develop a blueprint for reparative justice.
More than a conference, this gathering represents a strategic turning point, an opportunity to transform global consensus into coordinated action. The objective is clear: to move from recognition to implementation, to move from declaration to frameworks, to move from aspirations to concrete action. This conference will therefore focus not only on what has been achieved, but more importantly, on what comes next. The coming phase of the reparations movement is arguably as important as the adoption of the resolution itself. The conference is expected to deliver several major outcomes, including, first, provide a platform for collective reflection and dialogue on the implications of Resolution A/RAS/80/250.
Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa addressed some public concerns about the participation of French President Emmanuel Macron in the conference, indicating that most European countries that abstained have taken steps to support the reparation efforts.
And what President Macron has also done is to announce that France is willing to work with Ghana to establish a scientific commission on slavery to ensure that reparatory justice is achieved in our lifetime. And he has urged the French public to have an honest, open dialogue on the matter. All of these countries to come on board. And that is why Ghana is embracing all these nations, including France, Germany, the Netherlands, Denmark. These countries formally writing to us that they want to be part of the reparatory justice process.
In sports, the Black Stars of Ghana have departed Rhode Island and are heading to Toronto, Canada, ahead of the opening match at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Coach Carlos Queiroz' men have been preparing in Providence since the team's arrival from Virginia on Thursday. Carlos Queiroz' side will hold the official pre-match training session on Tuesday, that's today, the 16th of June, as they complete final preparations. Ghana began the World Cup campaign against Panama on Wednesday, the 17th of July. That will be tomorrow, with hopes of making a strong start to the tournament. The match is scheduled for 11 p.m. Ghana time at BMO Field in Toronto. And that's all for News Morning here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do stay with us on Newday.
That she was just 33 and was doing exploits, you know, in the designing world, and to just lose her life like that, I still cannot come to terms with it. And you were just telling me the story about the sisters of Innocentia.
The UCC girl,
yeah.
exactly. So yesterday I mentioned that. So they went viral a few weeks ago. You know, recently we had new SHS students go to school. And I think her sister made it into St. Monica Secondary School. So when they went to drop her in her dormitory, they did a video. I don't know if the producers can pull it up. So it's about 4 sisters, very beautiful sisters. And they did a video. So it started with the youngest, and then Innocentia. Then there was another one before the older sister. Very sweet girls. I can only imagine what they're going through at this point. She was so full of life. You look at her videos on social media and you could tell that she was a very happy girl. It's quite unfortunate that this has happened, but we have indication that a 39-year-old suspect has been arrested by the police CID. And in actual fact, we're told that this suspect called her. Let's just read it. So it says the Ghana Police Service has arrested suspect Michael Mensah, age 39, for the alleged murder of Innocentia Achufui Avinu. The suspect was arrested by the IGP's Cyber Vetting and Enforcement Team on the 15th of June 2026 at 7:15 yesterday at the Pedro Lorry Station, Cape Coast, following sustained intelligence-led operations. And remember that right after her body was found, the IGP dispatched this particular team into the central region to investigate her death. So we're told that preliminary investigation has revealed that on the 11th of June 2026, at about 6:48 p.m., the suspect, who claims to be a teacher by profession but also works as a driver, picked the deceased from Ayensu Plaza within the University of Cape Coast Hostel enclave and took her to Hatchland Beach, where she was last seen. Investigations continue, and any further development will be duly communicated. And so that's the latest update on this matter. Of course, she went missing after her roommate said she got a call and quickly stepped out, didn't inform her roommate where she was going or who she was going to see. And then after that, they tried to reach her. She was unreachable for 2 days. Her family had to report the incident, and then her body was washed ashore in one of the communities. So they alerted the police and they picked her up. It's really sad.
Yeah, very, very sad. Very sad. I was speaking to a number of young people the other day on University of Ghana campus. And what I was actually advising them to do, you know, most of the time when you actually do not know where you're going, you're not familiar with whoever you're going to see, sometimes, actually, and now it's not even become sometimes, now the best thing to do, once you get to that location, share your location with 1 or 2 trusted friends, so that just in case they do not hear from you after a few hours, they know exactly where to go, or they have an idea where you were last before you sent the location. I think it's a practice that we all must start paying attention to, wherever it is that you're going, whether you're familiar with the people, whether you know them or not, or whatever it is. Once you get to that location, these days, you never know. Once you get to that location, send it to somebody that you trust, so that just in case the unfortunate happens, would be able to trace you. I hope that the 39-year-old suspect that they have picked up is actually the person in connection with this murder. Because if he's not, then it means that we still have a long way to go in unraveling exactly what happened. You know, it's already hard that you lose a family member. Even when you see them on their deathbed or their hospital bed, it's difficult to lose them. But to lose them in such a bizarre manner, you don't have closure, you don't have answers, you don't know exactly what happened. And to even find them in the state that she was found, you know, washed ashore and all of that, it's very disturbing. I can just imagine what's happening to the psyche of her sisters, the mother, the father. Yesterday, I'm told we spoke to the uncle, and I think we'll speak to the uncle again this morning. But please and please, again, let's all be careful out there. It can happen to anybody. Sometimes you don't even see it coming. And by the time you realize it's already happened, let's be each other's keeper and let's take care of ourselves as well. Absolutely. But anyway, we'll be speaking to the uncle, I'm told, in no time. But we are also talking about a few things when it's time for the big issue. We are taking a look at Wontumi swapping lawyers. And I'm told, or we are told now, that lawyer Atachia is his new defense counsel for the ongoing case. But government or the courts have not changed their mind on the 3rd of July hearing date for the final verdict of what it is regarding Chairman Wontumi. So we'll be finding out all about that. And then there's also a shakeup at the EC. We're told the deputy chairperson has resigned, and now there is a little instability because replacements would have to be done. Chairman Bossman, good morning to you. He says that he wants to go back to school. He wants to go back to lecturing. But is that the actual or real reason why he has resigned? So many speculations out there, but I'm sure our panelists this morning would get into it for us. A lot of upsets also going on about the World Cup. Have you heard the news about the Cape Verdean?
From 2,000 followers to 2 million.
Goodness.
In fact, this morning, I'm sure he's probably reached 2.6.
This morning, it's 5.
Oh, it's 5 million now?
Yes.
I hope it stays at 5.
No, so they're actually gunning for 10. For 10 million.
My point is, I hope that after the World Cup, he doesn't lose some of the followers.
I know, right?
You know, in the heat of the moment, everybody's excited to follow
for what he's been able to
he should
achieve,
be able to sustain the
for
followers.
what he's been able to achieve. I think the followers will stay with him because he was just around 50,000, you know. And yesterday, by the time we realized he was in the 2 millions, this morning it's 5.5. And they are actually hoping that they get to 10 million followers.
That's interesting.
I think it's very possible.
I mean, to block about 7 goals from Spain.
Can you imagine?
So I was reading some stats, and it says that since, the 19-something, this is the second team that has stopped Spain from winning their first match in a World Cup.
Wow.
This is the second team only. So out of all the teams that they've played, there's only 2 teams that have either drawn with them or blocked them from winning. And Cape Verde is one of them. So you should have seen the Cape Verdeans. They were besides themselves yesterday.
It's going down history.
Celebrating.
And he's quite old too. So that's why he's catching a lot of attention. The goalkeeper, he's 40. And he's been doing this for some time. And yesterday he was all in tears because he's just, it's just unbelievable what he's been able to do. And we are all celebrating with him. There was another match that caused another upset also. I want to remember.
Is it a 7-1?
Is it a 7-1? No,
Curacao,
not a 7-1.
Okay, in Germany.
Curacao. That's for the Curacao goalkeeper. Yeah. No.
Before the game, there was like a whole documentary on the Curacao players.
You're kidding.
They were looking very hot with tattoos.
and
you could see their biceps and triceps.
They're fine boys. Yeah.
The way they're hyping these boys, is it that they can do something? Also because I think, for a long time, they hadn't come to the World Cup, so this was also a big deal for them. We're told they're just about 100 and something thousand.
Yeah,
of them
166 or 155.
So I was wondering, okay, what are these boys going to do? Then they get into the game, and it was a complete massacre. I was like, what's going on?
I was so upset with the goalkeeper. I was so upset. But anyway, the World Cup just started. A few games have gone on. We'll see what happens. I'm just not happy about the time we are playing our game tomorrow.
Yeah.
11 p.m. Yes,
we'll
11
manage.
p.m. That's quite late. We'll manage.
We'll
manage. Yeah.
We will not come back to our country,
exactly.
So we'll manage. But also yesterday, the sports minister spoke to Alfred Ukansi to give us an update on Thomas Partey. So we're expecting that a hearing will be held in court today as to whether he'll be able to go to Canada or not and have that decision by the Canadian immigration reversed, just so he can get his visa as well. And in fact, he revealed something. So he said that the American government also initially refused Partey.
Exactly, yes.
So they blocked his 5-year renewal because of what he was going through, his legal issues. And then they had to appeal.
Right.
And eventually the American government reversed that decision because they understood that he wasn't coming on his own, as a tourist, but he was coming purposely for national assignments. And so he's expecting that Canada will also reverse its decision so they can allow him to go and play as well. I wonder what this is doing to the team because it's not an easy thing having your one of your most important players absent, not because he cannot make it, but because the country has decided not to allow him in. So they're hoping that that decision will be reversed. But of course, as you can clearly see, it says that we won't abandon Thomas Partey at this moment. All diplomatic channels are being used to make sure that this matter is dealt with. And the Foreign Affairs Minister also reiterated that. It continues to say that there's a court hearing scheduled for today, the 16th of June, and we're asking the court to direct the authorities to allow him entry into Canada for at least a certain number of days. We're told that that hearing is at 1 p.m. Says FIFA cannot pretend that they have no role in this. They must speak up publicly that they abhor such a decision. They have spoken up. They say they cannot interfere with a sovereign country's decision on who they allow into their country or not. Now, it says the Americans not aware of the charges, but he's in America. They withdrew his 5-year visa, but understanding that he's coming because of an international competition, they reissued him a visa upon an application. And so if that's the case, the question is, why is Canada refusing him as well? And so by 1 p.m., I don't know if the 1 p.m. is our time 1 p.m. or their time 1 p.m., but we're told that, you know, the hearing will be held today. And so I'm sure we'll apprise you as to what exactly happens with regards to Thomas Partey. But let's get into this morning conversation right now. Like Cookie rightly said, we'll be speaking to the uncle of the UCC students whose life was ended for one reason or the other. We need to get a better understanding of what exactly the family is also grappling with at the moment. And like we said, a 39-year-old suspect has been picked up by the police as well. And so we'll give you all those updates on this morning right now.
The Central Regional Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Police Service, Chief Inspector Isaac Evans Eti, said investigations into the circumstances surrounding the student's death are still ongoing. According to him, preliminary findings suggest Innocentia may have died before her body was washed ashore.
From our initial investigation, suspected that the 20th day of Innocentia may have died before she was drowned. We are not ruling anything out. It's a suspicion. We'll work on that, and we'll also work on other avenues to bring this matter to a logical conclusion. Any information on this news, if the public has it, can contact the command.
He further stated that when police officers arrived at the scene, the body was intact, contrary to claims circulating online that some body parts were missing.
The crime scene investigating team was called to process the crime scene, where we saw that blood was oozing from the nose and some cuts on the upper eyebrows. Both eyebrows were some tiny cuts were there. Some blood also stains were there. When the crime scene investigators processed the crime scene, from what we saw, there was no body parts missing. Everything, according to what we saw, was intact.
He added that police have intensified security and intelligence operations in and around the University of Cape Coast community and appealed to the public to volunteer any relevant information that could assist with investigations. Meanwhile, Director of Public Affairs of University of Cape Coast, Dr. Kwabena Enchi-Konedu, intimated that it is premature to speculate as to the cause of her death, as that may jeopardize the investigation.
We will come out as and when we've been able to clear some of the investigations the police are doing. At the university level also, we are doing all that we can to support the student and colleagues, and of course the classmate, the hostel mate. Even though the hostel is not on campus, even though the issue didn't happen on the university campus, it is our responsibility at this point, as we do always, to counsel the student and to help support the police and the family the way the university is structured to do.
Some students have been sharing their thoughts on the incident.
For her being a student, at least there are some things she shouldn't have given open doors to. Like, in the first place, for her case, the guy that said he went to meet, she didn't know him, but because she felt like it's online thing, so she felt like going out with him in the first place. So to me, it wasn't the best decision to take. To me, there should be improvement on the security.
It's a very sad incident, it's really worrisome. And we all don't know the cause of it, and we are all hoping we get to know the cause of it. But all I want to say is, we as students, we have to just protect ourselves wherever we go. We ought to let our friends or roommates know where we are going.
Meanwhile, The police is cautioning media houses, especially bloggers, against spreading unverified information regarding the death of Innocentia Avinu.
And yes, so speaking of which, the police also debunked all rumors and reports that some parts of Innocentia's body had been cut off. In fact, when they found her, they said her body was intact. And so unlike instances where they said, she had lost one breast, etc., they said that was not true. Everything was intact, and we needed to allow them to do the investigation. And so, as you clearly have heard, a 39-year-old suspect has been picked up. And just to give you that information again, it says that this young man, Michael Mensah, was picked up by the IGP's cyber vetting and enforcement team on the 15th of June, which is last night at 7:15 at the Pedu Lorry Station, Cape Coast, following sustained intelligence-led operations. Preliminary investigation has revealed that on the 11th of June at about 6:48 p.m., the suspect, who claims to be a teacher by profession but also works as a driver, picked the deceased from Ayensu Plaza within the University of Cape Coast Hostel Enclave and took her to Hatchland Beach, where she was last seen. Investigations continue, and any further developments will be duly communicated. But the students also spoke to our correspondents, and clearly they are also entreating the university authorities to pay more attention to the security of students on campus. And so maybe this is also a conversation that needs to be had. And beyond that as well, now it begs the question, because I remember that KNUST as well, they had issues with security, and they constantly asked the authorities to provide better security for them. There are lots of areas around campus that are dark as well, and so even that was a problem. So I do hope that the authorities actually sit up and do something about the situation to save the lives of many young people. Hopefully we do. But I would love if the uncle is ready to join us now, because I've got questions on my mind. So the lorry station where the driver works, did she go there to pick a car, or she was deliberately going to meet the guy separately, the same guy who is a teacher and who's a driver as well? He called and picked her up from the lorry station. No, not from the lorry station, so from the hotel. Let me just get that. So it says that she was picked up, actually, picked up the deceased from Ayensu Plaza within the University of Cape Coast UCC Hostel Enclave, and then took her to Hatchland Beach. So he went to pick her up from her roommate's, details that she gave. She said that she got a call. I mean, she wasn't even dressed up or anything, and then she just walked out without giving them details as to who called her or where she was going. So they were expecting her to return, and she didn't. They started calling, she was unreachable, and that's when they raised the alarm as to, hoping that she would be found. And so that's the update on this matter. As we ready ourselves to have a conversation with the uncle, we'll take a few messages that are already coming in. Prince Henry Koforidia says, good morning to the both of you. To be sincere, Cape Verde has indeed made the entire African nation proud. Not what Yanum South Africans did. Tomorrow, the Ghana Black Stars will shock the entire world by scoring Panama. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Okay, we're here for it. We'll see what happens with the match tomorrow. Of course, we're all rooting for the Black Stars to win tomorrow's game. Aziz Donla says, we must appreciate and applaud the IGP and his team for this incredible performance so far regarding the death of Innocentia. The community should also provide the needed information to the police. I beg your pardon. And good morning to Alaji Alasan Bangu and my incredible boss, Professor Sharif Khalid. Aziz Dollar sent in that one. But I think the police have been very swift in responding to this very incident. This morning when we came in, we were like, wow, so the police can actually be this swift. Yes, the police is your friend. They are very swift when it comes to especially matters like this, and not just matters like this. Of course, this is the Ghana police, but this morning we just want to commend them for acting very swiftly as regards this matter. Anyway, let's go on and read more messages. A lot of them coming on our Facebook feed as well. Please send them. We'll do well to read as many as we can. This one is not related to what we're talking about, but Humadosi Chope says the resignation of Sophia Kufu came as a surprise to me. Throughout the years, she has consistently demonstrated her willingness to speak her mind and express her convictions regardless of whether the NPP or NDC was in power. For that, she deserves commendation. We sincerely thank her for her dedicated service to the nation and wish her the very best in her future
endeavors. As for Dr. Eric Bosmanasari, his resignation was less surprising and, in my view, long overdue. Although he has stepped down, his resignation would only take effect at the end of July. There have been media speculations linking him to a possible bid for the NPP General Secretary position. But until he publicly confirms such intentions, those claims remain unverified. Time will tell what path he chooses after leaving office. You've got messages, Bella?
Well, yes, indeed. And so earlier I did mention that we also have a hearing in court for Thomas Partey's issue with the Canadian government. So Samuel Evans Atta says that it's actually 9 a.m. Canadian time and 1 p.m. Ghana time. And so that means that a little after 1 p.m. we should know if Thomas Partey's visa cancellation would be reversed or not, to give him the chance to play with the boys in Canada. At the moment, the boys are in Canada, and of course, they're preparing for their game tomorrow. And so fingers crossed, let's hope that things pan out well for our players, and hopefully we can win our game as well. We need to win that game because the way South Africa is waiting for us, especially after we mocked them so badly for losing their first game as well, we need to win one way or the other. I saw someone who did a prediction. So I think the person said with Panama, we'll score 1 against them, and then England, it will be 2-1.
Yeah, I think I saw
you
that
saw
too.
that too. And
they've done it to even the other matches that we haven't even...
Croatia as well, I think they said 1-0, 1-1.
Yeah, I saw it too.
So I'm hoping that it actually comes to pass. If you have seen into the future, Charlie, we thank God, though, because we need to make it. You know, for me, the most heartbreaking is the knockout stages. So you may make it through the first round, and then but you get to knockout,
and then when it's critical,
they just kick you out and you have to go home. I hope we make it to quarterfinals, just so that, you know.
Morocco has set a very good precedent for us, and we have to follow it, because to think that Brazil could not score against Morocco.
But you remember Morocco came 4th or 3rd
in the last 4 years.
So I'm not surprised.
So
that
as Morocco now are the stars of Africa, now as it stands. Until we play and we know what our position or
remember
our outcome
Senegal is there as well. They are the reigning champions.
Sadio Mane.
They are the reigning champions. Disputed, yes, but reigning champions in Africa. So
then it means that Africa has some good teams in there, you know.
I mean, Senegal has always been one of the best teams. Morocco as well.
Yes.
And then I know that
even Egypt used to be very good.
And yesterday they played a very competitive game as
Egypt,
well. So it's not surprising. I think they also
won. And Cote d'Ivoire too.
Cote d'Ivoire won their game as well. They were their first African country to win in the World Cup this year. And so fingers crossed. I hope that Ghana, you know, we are also able to maintain that standard. We have to win, one way or the other. So boys, we're throwing our support behind you. But even before they left to Canada, we saw that Black Sheriff was at their camp jamming with them. And this came a day after we got news of Thomas Partey not getting his visa to go to Canada.
And he was jamming and dancing,
It felt, we felt some sense of relief after we saw that video. So let's take a look at that video.
Our bilateral relations have been growing in leaps and bounds. And we do not want this matter, the inadmissibility of Thomas Partey, to undermine our relations. The government of Ghana has pointed out that we take the view that the decision was high-handed, was rather unfortunate, and we are appealing to the government of Canada to review their decision, notwithstanding the fact that every sovereign country reserves the right to determine who they want to admit into their country. We acknowledge that. I mean, our efforts are without prejudice to that fundamental fact. I mean, nobody can dictate to Ghana who we grant visa to or who we admit into our country. But considering the fact that Thomas Partey was not entering Canada on a frolic of his own, he's deputy captain of our national team. He adorns our national colors. He wears Ghana's jersey, and he was going to carry out an assignment on our behalf, on behalf of the government and people of Ghana. We believe that the government of Ghana must take interest in this matter, and that is why we are intervening. So we are utilizing the diplomatic path, engaging actively behind closed doors, and we also are adopting other pathways, which at this point I do not want to divulge. So what I can say is that all strategies are being explored and pursued very actively. In particular, we are leveraging our very cordial diplomatic ties with Canada. And we believe that the ongoing negotiations should produce positive outcomes. We know that we are racing against time. It's just about 48 hours to go before the match. And we believe that looking at the nature of the engagements, the frequency, and the high-level engagements that are going on, we hopefully should have a positive outcome.
And that's the Foreign Affairs Minister, Sam Okudzeto-Ablakwa, and he's indicated that we've set in motion all legal diplomatic channels to ensure that that decision by Canada is reversed. Now, Canada, according to their immigration laws, has indicated that if you have any pending legal issue, if you're in court, you've been accused of any matter, and per their laws, that matter is a very serious accusation that could land you in jail, they are not going to allow you into their country. And so you are inadmissible at all costs. But there's also a second leg of the conversation where, in actual fact, they could grant you the temporary visa just for a few days or for that period that you need to be in the country. And so that is what the Foreign Affairs Ministry is trying to activate, so that they can just give him the visa for just that period. Once he's done playing, maybe even a few hours, so that once he's done playing, he can leave. And that's what the United States has done for Iran as well. So Iran cannot stay in the US.
America.
They actually are staying in Mexico at the moment. They've been given, I think, a 5-hour visa or so. So they come in, play their game, and almost immediately they have to leave and go back to Mexico. And so if that is the case, even though I still think that's extreme because it leads to a lot of fatigue as well. But if at least we can get that activated,
I'm just thinking,
they should just let him in.
With all this that Thomas Partey has even gone through, would he be able to give off his best if finally he lands in Canada to play with the boys? Because, Charlie, emotionally, it's a lot to deal with. You may see him smiling and dancing with Black Sharif and the rest of the boys, but I'm sure in his quiet moments, he thinks about it, he feels it, and I don't even know what will happen to his psyche. But hopefully, let's just say that latest by 2 p.m. this afternoon, we'll know exactly what the situation is with Thomas Partey. But let's go back to the Black Stars. Let's take a look at this. And this just goes to attest to the fact that we Ghanaians, we do love our Black Stars no matter what. This is not the time to say bring back the love. The love has always been there. Sometimes they disappoint us too much, so the love goes down a little bit. But after a few hours, it comes back right there again. And we are hoping that this massive love and support that the Black Stars have received will reflect in their performance in tomorrow's game against Panama, also in that one against England, and finally that one against Croatia. So in Ghana, we'll see our smoothness level. Hopefully they make all of us proud. But this was a very huge, resounding welcome when they got to Canadian grounds. And that's what you're seeing on your screens right now. A very nice, warm welcome from the Ghanaians. And you can see some of your favorites in there. Samojan is in there, as well as some of the officials. Carlos Queiroz waving and also responding to the warmness that he received once they touched down in Canada. And tomorrow, we do hope that all of this will reflect in their performance. All right.
In fact, tomorrow everyone should rock their jerseys.
Yeah, tomorrow we are all wearing our jerseys from Anopa to Anajo. Yeah.
In fact, it's a Thursday.
Yeah. We are rocking our jerseys.
But please, bat and change the jersey. So buy two, so that you don't give the excuse that Bella and Cookie said you should wear it the whole day and the next day.
But there's the yellow and the white. So if you wear the white in the morning, on Wednesday you wear the yellow on Thursday.
Yes. Or should we wear yellow on Wednesday?
But there are even different nice, beautiful ones out there these days.
I've seen a lot of them.
Some very nice designs.
Affitude, I'm waiting for mine. I've seen that you've released a new set as well.
Oh, there's somebody called Affitude.
Oh, a very good friend of Manina.
Oh, wow.
Yes, she's out of the country, but she also propagates the African agenda and all that. And her jerseys are solid.
Right?
So please, Cookie and I are waiting. We hope to get
Affitude.
Yeah, Affitude. Yes, you should check her out on social media as well. So fingers crossed. Boys will perform brilliantly.
They will
tomorrow.
Let's continue with some more messages here. It's a plethora of things we're talking about. It's a mixed bag. Some of you are sending messages concerning the sad passing Bella and Cookie. I wish IGP to figure out into the UCC students' murder. I don't understand. It's becoming unbecoming. I think that's what you're trying to say. Good morning, Bella and Cookie. Now, being in the university is even scary. My deepest condolences to her family. Ohema Crystal from Germany, Frankfurt, sent in that one. Agbubila, have I read your message already? He says, good morning, Bella and Cookie and your production team. I have a question for parents. How well have we trained our children when it comes to privacy? Very sad her death is unfortunate. It's an unfortunate one, but lessons must be learned from this. Warm greetings to all staff of St. Lucas Catholic Hospital, Wiaga, from their acting administrator, Cam Yale. And I'll hand over to you, Bella, to read more. But I hear Wisdom Gariko says, good morning, Cookie. I am Wisdom Gariko from Kofroidua. Please help me which Solomon Owusu P. You need the contact. Okay, we'll work on that for you. But Bella, if you have messages, you can read them
So
as
Courage Kotoka says that, good morning, Bella and Cookie. As a matter of fact, Canada's decision to deny Thomas Partey's entry into their country for national duties is uncalled for. However, we are confident of winning tomorrow. As for the death of the UCC lady, it's very unfortunate. The authorities must act swiftly and bring the perpetrators to book. This is from Courage Kotoka in the Volta region. James Jordan says, Ghana is winning 3-0.
Okay. Sherry Giovanni says, good morning to you. Cookie, grief and sorrow have engulfed the whole Volta region, especially Ketu North, following the death of Innocentia Avinu. The Ghana Police Service should be commended for the swift actions in this regard. May Achupui's soul find rest in the Lord, but the ancestors will definitely avenge her death. Good morning to Miss Yvonne Ahia Woji. Dennis Doe says, good morning, TV3. I was very sad when I heard Innocentia's sad news. I hope the Ghana police are going to do everything within their power to arrest the perpetrator of this crime. I believe strongly that Ghana will score 2-0 against Panama tomorrow. Dennis Doe from Apulao.
Well, just an update as well on the Cape Verdean, goalkeeper. No, I'm not even checking that yet. So the reason why he was crying yesterday is also because he had tried to get his mom to come to the United States to witness him play. Unfortunately, she could not get her visa because if you're Cape Verdean, you have to pay $15,000 before you can apply for the visa and get it. They didn't have the money. So let me say,
15,000.
So it says, for all the joy of Cape Verde winning, let's not forget that Vonzinha, who is the goalkeeper, was denied celebrating this win with his family. Because if you come from Cape Verde, you have to pay 15,000. Didn't have. Virtually every Cape Verdean without a foreign passport were in the same position. And he says that's why he was crying. Beyond the fact that his grandparents also died, he wished they were there to witness him play, but also because he didn't get his mom to come along with him because he could not pay, for her to get her visa on time. And so that's clearly why he was so emotional. But, the world is very funny.
Wow.
Even with all that he was going through, he eventually emerged man of the match as well. So that's just some update on that as well.
Wow. Visa and immigration laws differ from country to country. Because imagine you paying $15,000 USD to get a visa.
Yeah. But you remember that not too long ago, the president had indicated that for a number of countries who are known to overstay their tourist visa, they were going to take, so Nigeria and the like,
but
were
at
going
least
to pay.
that one, when you return, you get your money back.
Yes, but even that, a lot of people were saying that, what's the guarantee that I'll get my money back? And how soon do I get the money back? Because if I have to pay $5,000 to $15,000 just to guarantee that I will not overstay my visa, then I might as well invest that money in Kukon Kitten in my country and take care of myself. So that's the update on that matter.
But after this World Cup, or even before it ends, I'm sure he'll be able to get his mom into the United States of America, because right now money
Is it Trump you're talking about? Does he care?
He doesn't care, right? Well, his social media following on Instagram as at now is at 5.7 million.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm talking about the Cavadian goalkeeper Yosima Diaz, that's his name, and currently his following is at 5.7 million on Instagram. It started from 50,000 just yesterday. These people who are following, do they know about you and I? You people, okay, but it's good to see. And it's beautiful. Let's get into more messages this morning. Prince Henry Koforidia says, please, to me, the stars of Africa now are Cape Verde, looking at who they are and what they did against Spain. All eyes on Ghana and Cape Verde, because for Morocco, we know what they did during the last World Cup, so their performance against Brazil was not surprising. Okay. I think this one is from Chachuti Kata Jr. It says, police have arrested suspects in connection with the killing of the UCC students. Yes, we've mentioned that, and this is indeed good news and a significant step towards justice. We are still expecting more from them. I commend the Ghana Police Service for their swift action in apprehending the suspects linked to this heartbreaking crime. However, the arrest is just the beginning. Investigations must be fast, thorough, and transparent. The family of this young student deserves nothing less than justice. I was particularly encouraged to see my security expert, Honorable Peter Lanchini Tobu, MP for Wa West constituency, calling for a swift investigation into the untimely ending of such a beautiful soul. To the family, may you find comfort during this difficult time. Bossman Asari realized that he can no longer do the elephant's family thing, so he has nothing to show for it and has chosen to exit. And this one came from Chachuchi Kata Jr., Wow West constituency.
So, I mean, Cookie, I don't know if you follow the Cavadian.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I saw it.
Oh, my God.
I saw that video.
Did you follow him, on social media?
Yes, I'm following him now.
Oh, you're following him?
Yeah, I'm following him.
Oh, I see. Okay, so Cookie is one of the 5.7 million people. I don't know if you're one of them, but let's show you how he moved from, 2,000 followers or so to 2 million within hours after the game. 5.7 million followers. He's only following 2,178.
He'll follow us back when he's done.
But this is him reacting to it.
Isso é louco, é louco.
¿Qué?
Crazy, isso é louco, isso é louco.
¿Qué? That's the surprise on their faces after seeing
the power
how
of social
many
media,
followers they had gotten. We hope that we can get same for our boys as well. I know I'm trying to force our boys into that space, but imagine Benjamin Asari.
Oh, he's the one we were talking about yesterday.
With England.
Yeah,
block like 14 goals.
He was the one we're talking about.
Million.
He was the one we're talking about yesterday, because in a similar fashion or in a similar story, he's also been through a lot, you know. And later in his life
what
now,
hasn't he sold?
I know, right? He says SL for life. Listen, the guy has really struggled, and finally he's made it into the national team, headed to the World Cup, actually at the World Cup as we speak. And I am praying for the same miracle for Benjamin Asari, for the world to know what this young man can do and what he's got inside him. What's Benjamin Asari's following now?
Hey, are you following him as well?
Yes, I am. I just want to check what his following is right now. And and see if he would also get a miracle, you know.
Yeah.
But football fanatics have been talking about this Cape Verdean goalkeeper already, and he's probably likely to be signed right after the World Cup. I'm only worried about his age because he's already 40.
Oh, but they say for the goalkeepers, sometimes the age doesn't affect them as much as the regular players.
Okay,
so he might be lucky.
Right.
What team do you think he should be signed on to?
Manchester United.
They need it.
Yes.
They need it.
Manchester United, or let's see, who is not doing well these days? Chelsea.
But Man U needs it. So
I think so. I think yes.
Manchester United can block all the goals for them.
Yes, Manchester United will do. Manchester United.
We're checking Benjamin Asari's following.
Yes, I'm checking.
All of you keep it in mind.
39,000.
Oh, okay.
Charlie, if don't do that.
Oh, so we can move it to about.
Let's move it to 50,000 this morning.
No. Let's show him love locally. So that when the foreigners see it, they'll have a reason to also follow. So, challenge thrown at all of you.
So
let's move Benjamin aside.
So we are testing it. He's at 39.4
Let's move it to 3 million.
Yes. So by the time we are done playing Panama tomorrow.
No, by the end of today. Let's show him love first.
Before he goes into the goalpost. Okay. So 39. Please note it down. Producers, note it down. As at this morning here on TV3 Newday, we are rallying for all of you, especially Instagrammers and Facebookers, to go and follow Benjamin Asare. He's at 39.4 now, and the handle is just Benjamin Asare. Just type Benjamin Asare and you see him right there. It says sports person. Please follow Benjamin Asare so that by the time we are closing the show, we'll see where he's gotten to.
How do you say million in tree?
Which one's
the Which one is that one? Followers. Anyway, we're asking you to perk up your day. Of course, the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of perk milk shortcake. It is pure delight. So we'll be right back. We'll get into the big issues right after this. DSTV channel 279. This morning, we have two main conversations to have. Of course, Chairman Wontumi, the Ashanti Regional Chairman for the New Patriotic Party, has been in the news over the weekend up until now. And that's because just last week, we were informed officially by the courts that a final verdict will be given for one of the cases that he is currently in court for. In fact, at the moment, he is facing 3 allegations, and all those 3 cases are in court, linking him to some fraudulent cases, allegedly, and also illegal mining issues as well. So at the moment, there are 2 illegal mining issues that he is in court for. And then there's a third one that has to do with the Exim Bank and some loan that he went for to engage in mining. But unfortunately, we're told that that money was not used for the purposes that it was taken for. But this morning, we're focusing on his case in court with regards to Samra Boy. And so we're told that, of course, the company, Akunta Mining, which belongs to Wontumi, and Wontumi himself, and one of his directors, who we're told is at large at the moment, Kwame Entry, are facing some 6 counts, in fact, 7 counts of charges tied to a concession at Samra Boy in the Western region. And so first counts, undertaking mining operations without licensing. Count 2, undertaking mining operations without licensing. That's for Chairman Wontumi. The first one is for Akunta Mining. Count 3, jointly charged with Wontumi. That's Kwame Entry, his director. And we're told that he also was charged for undertaking mining without licensing. Count 4, felling trees in a forest reserve without authority. That's for Akunta Mining. Count 5, abetting authorization of unauthorized felling of trees as well, and that's for Chairman Wontumi. And count 6, erecting buildings in a forest reserve without authorization. That's to Akunta Mining. Count 7, abetting unauthorized erection of buildings. That's for Chairman Wontumi as well. And so that case has been in court, we're told, from October last year. And at this point, we're expecting a final verdict from the court on July 3rd. And prior to that, we were told over the weekend as well that the lead counsel for Chairman Wontumi had decided or filed an application to withdraw from the case as Chairman Wontumi's lead counsel, and that is Honorable Apia Kubi. The Attorney General over the weekend as well filed a legal objection to Apia Kubi's withdrawal of service. We're told that Dr. Justice Remsai said that his objection was based on the grounds of jurisdiction, capacity, and standy, I believe. It was filed on June 12. Over time, we're told that the court also rejected that application, but a new legal counsel has replaced Apia Kubi, and he's in the person of lawyer Samuel Atta Achia. He is the new lead defense counsel for the ongoing criminal proceedings against Chairman Wontumi. So we'll get into that conversation this morning, and then much later, we'll look at the shake-up at the Electoral Commission. In fact, the deputy chair, Dr. Bosman Asari, we're told, has resigned from the commission, and he says he's going back to academia. Government says they had no hand in his resignation, but he's not the only one. We'll get into those details as well when we get to that point. But let me quickly introduce my guest this morning. Right across from me is Theophilus Jimega. He's a private legal practitioner, and he's also a member of the NDC. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good to have you in the studios. I'm fine.
Pleasure.
How about you?
I'm doing good.
Are you following the World Cup?
Yes, it's been... I keep asking myself what level of standards these guys are setting for Ghana. Can you believe that even Saudi Arabia nearly won?
Well, they played a very good game.
Cape Verde nearly won.
They played a good game as well.
Egypt nearly won. Morocco nearly won.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, when it reaches our time, it shouldn't be we nearly won.
We should win.
We should win.
Okay.
The games are so nice that the time spent not sleeping is worth it.
So yesterday you were also watching the 11 p.m. game as well.
I have to.
I see.
Yes, and the Ghana one is also coming late.
11.
Yes, we need to be up and watch it.
As for that one, we have to. I've been watching the repeats for the other matches that are late as well, because I can't stay up to watch. But for Ghana, yes,
the Ghana one we have to. Yes, and permit me to say good morning to your viewers wherever they are. Particularly a certain young man, ASP Raymond Winsori. He's the 2IC, Deputy Crime for Tema Regional Office. A very nice man. He's doing a good job in Tema over there. And my guys in Tain, NDC voter, particularly Natty Boy and Boba Force. Good morning to all of you for watching.
All right. Well, also in the studios, we have Ross Osei Owusu. He's a private legal practitioner and a member of the NPP, who I believe is also following the World Cup.
No, I have not been following the World Cup.
Oh.
I only watch highlights of the World Cup.
Why, you're not a football fan like that?
No, I'm a football fan, an ardent football fan, but just that I'm involved in a lot of things now, so I'm not able to follow it. But I do watch the highlights, and I'm very impressed with the way the African countries are really showing up at the World Cup. And I hope that tomorrow Ghana will have its day and will perform. And I have no doubt in my mind that we are going to beat Panama.
Okay. Do you want to give us a prediction?
I think it will be 2-1.
2-1.
That is what I feel. It will be 2-1.
Do you usually get your predictions right?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
because we want to rely on you for this win.
If you look at the Ghanaian team, we have a very quite compact team for now, and with the new coach on board, I think we are bound to do well. Okay. So I'm sure we'll get 2 goals and. Plus or minus, they'll get 1. Yes.
We don't even want them to score us at all. But Dr. Ramsey Nusa is also here. He's the Director for Political Research for the United Party. And he's already in his jersey, by the way. So he's ready for Ghana. I'm sure you wish you were in Canada to even receive them.
I know, right? Well, let me say a good morning to your good self and to your cherished viewers and to the teaming supporters of the United Party. Indeed, there's no mere coincidence that the jersey is yellow. You know, and so indeed the spirit of the UP is with them.
We're all butterflies, aren't we?
Definitely, we're going to fly high tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I wish our team very well. Indeed, the standards, as Honorable said, has been set high. And looking at how the smaller teams have performed, Cape Verde against Spain, the whole Saudi Arabia drawing with Uruguay. And I know that the Ghanaian people were for Saudi Arabia, taking into consideration what we suffered under Uruguay in 2010.
Oh, the person who caused us that loss wasn't playing, so...
No, but I'm saying that it will follow the team.
Forever.
Forever. So I wish our lads well. I hope that they would raise the flag of Ghana high and make us proud. I hope that the GFA, again, will do the needful. I am in touch with some of our players in Canada to, ensure that things go accordingly.
Oh, you are in direct contact with them?
I will not mention...
They are giving you updates on what's happening in camp?
Yes, I will not mention anybody's
What's the reason
name.
for getting those updates?
Because I want to ensure that what happened in Brazil does not happen again.
Oh.
We are going to keep an eagle eye on our FA.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well, we wish you could give us names of the people.
No,
but so far, what are they saying? Are they being treated well?
So far, so good.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Is Partey joining them? Do you know about that as well?
Well, his visa has been declined, and I think the Ministry for Foreign Affairs is leading the charge to ensure that the Canadian embassy and government resigns on that decision. I think it's quite unfortunate. This World Cup has been a stage for some unnecessary geopolitics, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite unfortunate what has happened to Partey. And
there's a hearing later today, so let's wait and see. Maybe
but I'm saying that under the legal jurisprudence, right? We all know that the accused person is innocent until proven guilty. So what the Canadian government did is uncalled for. It's not backed by the rule of law.
Well,
but unfortunately, it's us that suffer because the United States has done the same to a Somalian referee.
Yeah.
You know, and Senegal has also suffered the same for not allowing their supporters to go and support them in the U.S. And it's sad. I mean, this is football. We should not mix politics with football.
All right, well, let's move on from this point. But quickly, good morning to you if you're watching on Facebook as well. And Ross, there's a message for you. Shola Junior says, Bella, I'm surprised you believe the prediction of someone who says he only watches highlights.
I'm actually going to the United States on Saturday.
Oh, you are? To watch Ghana,
Croatia. So
you are getting the tickets from the government of Ghana?
And it's been problematic.
Ticket?
I'm working through Latina Travel and Tours, and I must say that we are having a very serious challenge getting the tickets. I don't know why this is happening. But
the ticket to fly to America?
No, not the ticket to fly. The ticket to watch the matches.
Oh, okay.
It's been extremely difficult. Yesterday, I spoke to Adanse, trying to do an alternative arrangement, and I'm supposed to pay about 21,000 just to watch the Ghana.
But I thought the government
match.
of Ghana said they were going to give some fans tickets to go watch. Have you tried to reach out to them?
The spokesperson of the GFA is my personal friend. I have reached out to him.
So what's he saying?
To no avail. I mean, you simply don't understand what is happening. We are just not getting the tickets.
Oh.
It's very frustrating.
After spending $1.1 million.
I mean, it's quite. But I'm sure in the coming days, something good will
Let's
happen.
see. But yes, we wish you a safe flight, and hopefully your presence there will also make us win. So you are going to watch the one against England in Boston.
Yes, and
okay.
Philadelphia.
And Philadelphia as well. Okay,
yes.
well, yeah, we wish you could be a fly in your suitcase so we can all get to watch in the stadium as well. But let's get into our conversation this morning. Good morning, Yalfabu. He says we're optimistic of the successful resolution of Thomas Partey to come to Canada and play for the Black Stars. Good morning as well to Neron the Bonages. As for England, they will score them woto. You be there and be making noise. When they score, that's when you know our smoothness level. But fingers crossed. Let's get into our conversation this morning. And yes, we'll be starting off with the replacement of Andy Appiah Kubi with Samuel Atta Achia as the new legal defense counsel for Chairman Owotumi, who is currently in court facing some charges concerning mining in Samraboy in the Western region. And so over the weekend, we had Andy Appiah Kubi on key points to respond to concerns about why he had decided to step away from the matter and step away from representing Chairman Owotumi. And this is what he had to say. Take a look.
I have filed this application for leave to withdraw my legal services to my client. And it's coming on. So I think that my reasons for this decision is embedded in the affidavit in support. You have just told me that the state has filed affidavit in opposition.
You haven't seen?
I have not been served, or I have not seen. And if I do, I see it and I go to the court, I will address it. I will respond to the issues they are raising therein. But I think that I have a right at any point in time to withdraw services that I offer to anybody. Sometimes even at cost, if I have to, if I'm in contract and I cannot continue the contract, and that brings in reparation or restitution, the decision to withdraw, I think I can enjoy that, and this is what I have done.
Law is growing, so we should be patient to learn the law, even situations of court. But we relate to precedent at all times. And you remember that the civil procedure rules are different from the criminal procedure rules as we operate in the courtroom. But in the case of Republic versus Dufour, it was determined that case management, which was part of civil procedure, be adopted by the court. And since then, we have all adopted case management, which is part of civil procedure. And in law, whatever is excluded should not necessarily be included, but it does not also mean exclusion in another area of law. So once the courts have adopted part of civil procedure, there's a presumption that other parts would be appropriate if invoked. And in a recent case,
and as to whether he withdrew voluntarily or not, well, the former Bokwa South MP and lawyer Samuel Atta Achia has responded to those comments about lawyer Andy Appiah Kubi. And he says that he was not dismissed by Chairman Owotumi, but rather he voluntarily decided to withdraw from representing him in the ongoing Akunta mining case. So as it stands now, lawyer Atta Achia is the new legal defense counsel for him. Let's start off this conversation to have a better understanding. Maybe I'll start off with you, Ross, so you can give us further particulars as to how, if you do have the details, why lawyer Andy Appiah Kubi decided to step away. I mean, there have been a lot of speculations, some even referencing the fact that it's just a deliberate attempt to delay, the verdict that is expected on the 3rd of July as well. Do you agree to that?
Okay, so let me first of all say a very good morning to your cherished viewers and my co-panelists here. I must say that Owotumi must be commended in the way that he has conducted himself throughout this trial. I mean, he's shown up in court in good spirits throughout this trial, and I think it's something that is worthy of emulation, that a person who is charged with a criminal offense, and in record time, I think in about less than a year, the verdict is coming out on 3rd of July, and you still find him showing up in court and being in that good spirit. I think is very remarkable, and all Ghanaians that are facing trials must emulate same. I must say that I don't know the legal strategy of Andy-Appiah Kubi in reaching the decision to withdraw his legal services in this Samra Boy case, especially when he has gone through all the pleadings and has done cross-examination and has done all the necessary things that has to do with the trial. And we are just awaiting the decision of the court on July 3rd. And he is filing for the notice of withdrawal, which the court has rejected on grounds of jurisdiction. I must emphasize that I believe it may be a legal strategy because remember that in the other mining case, he's still representing Wuntumi, and even the Exim Bank case, he's still on the case. So that tells you that it is not an acrimonious grounds for which he is withdrawing his services. Let me make the point that a lawyer has the right to withdraw his services at any point in time, especially when the grounds has to bother with unethical conduct of the client in one way or the other, or even a discharge of the duties of the lawyer. If the lawyer has finished, rendering his services to the client, he's permitted by law to actually withdraw his services. Of course, when a client is asking a lawyer to proceed on grounds of fraud, a lawyer can just notify the court that, you know what, I don't want to represent my client again. That is not to say that that is the grounds that lawyer Appiah Kubi is withdrawing his services. Primarily, from what we've heard him say, I've not seen the affidavit that he filed in court, but from what I've heard him say and the audio you just played, if you had played it a bit longer, you realize that he's complained about the conduct of the court, in terms of the way the court has, conducted this case. It looks like there's a sort of pressure on the court to deliver judgment in record time that has not been seen before. I mean, if you listen to Appiah Kubi very well, he's not happy with the way the judge and the court, by extension, has conducted itself in this case. But I am an officer of the court. I'm not here to bastardize the court or say anything. But you see, Ghana operates on a legal tradition that is called the common law tradition. Inbuilt in that common law tradition is judicial precedent. So what is happening today sets the standards. It becomes a precedent. And my brother here will bear me out that when judicial precedent is set, then it gives room for the future cases to be conducted along the lines that this has been conducted. So I am not saying that the court has done anything untoward. I think that per what the lawyer has mentioned, if there is any real reason, and to some extent, I also think that he should have raised objections and appealed some of the decisions of the court if he had problem at the trial stage. You don't wait till when judgment is about to be delivered to come up with all these excuses. You understand?
So you think that he failed Chairman Wuntumi in this case?
I mean, I've had discussions within some circles, and I feel that for a trial case of this nature, and with the experience of Andy-Appiah Kubi, he should have raised timely objections, and he has the right to go to the Court of Appeal, and some of the objections can even go to the Supreme Court for interpretations and all that. You understand? He allowed that to slide, and the case has run smoothly and is at the stage of judgment being passed. And you say, you tell us you are withdrawing your services.
Could this not be a trick in his bag?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It may be a legal strategy, but in the end, I, as a lawyer, I'm not privy to the strategy. You are a layperson, you are not privy to that strategy. What we know is that for criminal cases of this nature, a lawyer must exhaust all the avenues that the law provides, you understand, in terms of appeals on rulings and all that. And if you watch the cases of Woyome and the Cocoa Board guy, the Opuni. You understand? Those were the strategies the lawyers adopted. And I think it largely helped their clients to avoid a jail term. And this is not to say that Wontumi will be jailed. As we sit here, we don't have benefit of the judgment, so we are not in the position to say that. But I must say that the party, the MPP party, strongly stands by Wontumi, and we are praying for him, and we hope that justice will be served.
At this point where a new legal defense counsel has been appointed as well, does that sort of buy time for anything at all, even though the court has indicated that regardless of what changes will be made, the verdict will be given on July 3rd?
Yes, I mean, remember that Wontumi has a lot of legal remedies and options available to him. In fact, the Atachia, senior counsel Atachia, can actually even decide to enter plea bargain. Okay. In terms of this particular case. Exactly, because that's what Act 1079, the law governing plea bargain, recommends, that an accused person can negotiate with the Attorney General at any point in time of the case before judgment is given to enter into a plea bargain deal. So if Lawyer Tachia sees the facts of the case, and he has mentioned yesterday that he's going to apply for records of proceedings on the case, which I think is the right thing to do. So when he applies for the records of proceedings and he feels that his client has a bad case or his representation was not the best in court, then I'll quickly urge him to enter into the plea bargain agreement so that at least a custodial sentence will be avoided. Because remember that the judge can hand over a sentencing to Chairman Wontumi, but that sentencing may not necessarily be a custodial sentence. And it is very funny the way the social media and Ghanaians have already jumped into the conclusion that on 3rd July, Chairman Wontumi is walking to the Nsawam prison.
Is that what people are saying?
If you follow social media, that is the verdict out there, which I think is not fair to the man.
I mean, that's the public's opinion, but at the end of the day, it's the court that will decide anyway. So that shouldn't even.
But at the end of the day, he's a human being. He's a human being. I mean, imagine you going through everything that you are going through. I mean, what Chairman Wontumi is going through, you wish that for your worst enemy. You understand? And the court of public opinion
when he was involved in all these.
As it stands now, the presumption of innocence under Article 19(2)(c) still operates in the favor of Chairman Wontumi until 3rd July when the court comes out with its verdict. So until then, we cannot say that he did not consider Ghanaians because we have not established anything untoward against him. Everything that has been leveled against him remains mere speculations and allegations
but if
until
we go back,
the court comes out.
I'm asking this because if we go back to when this whole Akunta mining issue came up, especially even for the Tanon Nimri Forest Reserve, for example, we know that there was a statement from the Ministry of Natural Resources at that time indicating that he did not even have the license to go into the Tanon Nimri Forest to go and mine, but he still went ahead to do so. That's why I'm asking that. If you look at all these issues, even from his own people, they said he didn't have that, license to go in there. So is he even thinking of Ghanaians?
But remember,
could that not be the reason why Ghanaians think that maybe he should be found guilty?
Speaking to the current case that is before the court, Wontumi is not in this Samra Boy case for illegal mining. Wontumi was providing mining support services. Was not illegal. So you see, these matters have been muddied on the social media, and Ghanaians.
No, but the charges says he was undertaking illegal mining. I mean,
on the Samra Boy case.
Yes, that's what I read for you.
No, he provided mining. So as far as I'm concerned,
that's his word.
Mining support, exactly.
Yes,
and remember
but
that Wontumi himself had had the occasion to report people that were mining on his concession to the minister and even to the police at the time. So it cannot be said anywhere that Wontumi was engaging in illegal mining in the Samra Boy case. I stand to be corrected, but that is not the case.
Those are the charges preferred against him. And so that's what I clearly read to you. There are 7 counts. Undertaking mining operations without a license in the Samra Boy area as well. Undertaking mining jointly charged with Wontumi, and also felling trees in the forest reserve without authority and erecting buildings in the forest reserve without authorization.
No.
These are the
Bella,
charges.
I think you should do your corrections because the Samra Boy case is in 2 folds. The one that is currently due for the verdict of the court to come out on 3rd July is not what you are reading.
Which one is it?
That is what he provided mining support services. And you can do the back-end checks.
So he has 3 cases in court.
He has 3 cases,
There's one
yes.
with Tanonimri Forest.
Exactly.
That's also premised on illegal mining.
Illegal mining, yes.
Now, the Samre Boy one as well is the one I've read to you. And in that case as well, these are the charges that were proffered against him, which is what I've read to you. That he was charged with undertaking mining operations without a license in Samre Boy. Also, felling trees in the forest reserve without authority and erecting buildings in a forest without authority and abetting authorization of felling trees. These charges were proffered against him, his company, and a director who we are told is at large. That's what I've just read to you.
Well, I know currently the verdict that is due for 3rd July is based on 2 counts. And all those counts point to the provision of mining support services. And that Woon to me had the occasion to even report people that were on his concession to the minister. So please, I don't know where this is coming from, but I think my other colleagues can also speak to it. But from where I sit, that is the information I have.
That's the information you have, but
Yes.
This is the information that is out there. But let me just bring Mr. Theo in to respond to this as well, because I did my checks. And this is what the Samre Boy case is about. So I'm surprised you're saying it's only on 2 counts, because he now said, apparently in court, that he did not mine in the forest, but rather he provided mining support services. That was his response
exactly.
to the charges that were proffered against him.
Exactly. And you know when there is a case before a court, the court narrows the case down for determination. So it is not every charge. So if you take, let's say, a criminal charge of, let's say, 20 counts to a court, it does not necessarily mean that the court is going to narrow the 20 counts for determination. You understand? So there are issues to be determined by the court. And that is what I think you should be looking at, and not the charges that were sent to court.
I should be looking at that?
Yes, because what is the court going to determine on? It is the court's determination that we are talking about.
Okay, let me bring Mr. Theo in at this point so he can respond to this.
Yes, good morning to your viewers and good morning to my colleagues here. Let me help counsel here. Yes, we learn every day. First, if you send 20 charges in criminal trial to court, the court determines 20 charges. The court will not narrow anything.
The court
that is civil law, where the court will set out matters for determination. If you are charged for 2, the charges are 2. The 2 charges will be what the court will look at. It will not narrow anything. I had counsel also talking about plea bargain. What is the object of plea bargain? The object, one of them, is to avoid delays, avoid unnecessary expenditure, etc. You take everybody through the trial to the end, then you now come for plea bargain. What are we trying to achieve out of the plea bargain? Now, these are MPP guys. Here in this studio, I was with Dr. Zato when plea bargain was mentioned. He said Operation Recover All Loots has moved to Operation Recover Some Loots. Now they are using the Operation Recover All Loots for you. You are jumping to plea bargain. What are we talking about here? I mean, counsel, you see, back to your issue about withdrawal. Sorry, I'm using withdrawal advisedly here. The legal etiquette rule 2020 LI 243 says that a lawyer cannot or may not withdraw services to a client if it will affect the interest of the client. A lawyer may withdraw if for a good cause. So put these two in perspective now and see there's judgment or ruling on 3rd July. You are withdrawing at this stage from representing your client. Is it to the interest of your client that you are withdrawing at this stage? That is one. So if it is not to the interest of your client, are you withdrawing for good cause? If you are withdrawing for good cause, or you are not withdrawing for good cause and it is not in the interest of your client, are you meeting the professional etiquette rules? That's what we have to be thinking about at this stage. Now, they also keep confusing themselves with the criminal part and the civil part. For crying out loud, this is a criminal case. Now, they are waiting for filing of addresses. And as the court rightly indicated, filing of address is not compulsory. It's optional. It is only to persuade the judge further to say that we have advanced ABC and we feel that you should look at ABC and rule in our favor. However, you can say that we don't want to file anything because the ABCs are so clear that the judge will look at it and go on. We sit here. These are the very people telling us that we are not fighting Galamsey. Now the trial is about Galamsey. Then you want to use, if I understand correctly, a tactic that will delay the trial. If I understand correctly from this morning and previous commentaries, to delay a tactic to avoid responsibility for Galamsey. Then you turn back and say, hey, the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is not fighting Galamsey.
That's what you're deducing from what's happening.
Yes.
But Andy Appiah Kubi has responded to this, and he said there's nothing true about those allegations, that it's a deliberate attempt to delay the
Yes,
process.
and building on what he said that you waited. If you have concerns about the court's attitude or whatever goes on in court, you could either advance it to an appeal. He even mentioned to the Supreme Court, you waited, you sat down, and you slept until today, when we are just few days away. Then you are telling us this. By the way, 3rd July might probably be even a holiday, because 1st July is Wednesday, and 3rd is Friday.
So what are you driving at?
So that day, the court might not even sit.
On a holiday?
Oh, these days.
But I thought that because of
even on weekends these days,
you know, what's the lawyer's name? I mean, he went back to court to say that judges still need to sit. Martin Pebu, something about judges having to sit on weekends
when someone is in custody,
but not on a normal court case like this.
Courts don't sit on holidays.
But
normally,
weren't they aware of this before they gave the 3rd July?
Nobody knows even the day.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that. 3rd July is a Friday. 1st is a Wednesday.
Okay.
So come back to the issue. Now you said you want to withdraw your services to the accused person. Then you go to court asking the court to grant you that permission to withdraw your services. And on one hand, you are telling us that to work for somebody, they have abolished slavery. The tape you just played, he said it on Saturday, that slavery has been abolished. Then you are now going to ask permission not to do the Slavery Act. I mean, where are we in this situation? I've also heard and read about lawyer Atachia, as counsel has alluded to, going for record of proceedings. Yes, that is it. What can they do between now and 3rd July? Perhaps they will go what the lawyers call arresting sentencing or arresting judgment.
What does that mean?
It means that you want to prevent the judge from delivering his judgment or ruling that day.
Okay.
And you have to give reasons why the judge must delay in not giving the judgment that day. Now, is he now going to say that we want to recall witnesses? If they want to recall witnesses, that also has its own barriers you need to cross. And I don't see any of this quickly happening. I don't know their legal strategy. But I will also go by what he said he saw on a social media platform about delays. But to what extent? To what extent will this delay go on? I want to tell you, reports have it that in court, when my lady stood the case down to consider the arguments, he was making noise to say that if Andy Appiah Kubi is not allowed to step down, he's going to cause scene in the courtroom. Those are not necessary. Lawyers here will tell you, in criminal trial, you want it to finish quickly so that your client also knows his fate. The court also knows what is happening. Now, we were in this country when they had trials daily, Jachikwesin case, daily. And that has not been something that has happened. So for him to say that this has been like a year and Wontumi is coming to court, he has no right, nothing else to do apart from coming to court. If you don't come, bench warrant is issued and you are detained and you are brought to court. So it is not like he should be praised for coming to court. What is the praise for? Why? For conducting himself? You have to conduct yourself.
Well, his director is at large, and so maybe that's why he's referencing the fact that
you see, the purpose of bail, the purpose of bail is that you avail yourself when required any time by the court to be available.
In this case, counsel, I was saying that I was saying this, juxtaposing that on the Sedina Tamaklo's case. Sedina Tamaklo was on bail. Did she turn up for trial? She did not do that. So when Wontumi
did she not have court clearance to travel out for medical reasons? And so how are you relating that?
Specific time.
How are you relating that to Chairman Wontumi's own?
For a specific time. So why do we say that she was tried in absentia? She was supposed to return to court to face trial after her medical care.
Point made. Please land for me, Mr. Theo, so that we can go. Because then the issue here, and I've just read something from Samson Ladi Ayeni, he's saying that in this case, where the court decides to now not grant, this change in legal representation, if they still go ahead and get a new lawyer, it gives them enough time to now want to say they want to go through the case, like you mentioned.
Yes.
So that would be a fair point for their side as well, to buy more time?
It is not that the court has said they will not allow him to have a new lawyer.
No, they rejected his appeal or his application.
No, his application. The court is saying the mode you come is not the right one. Like I've said on some platforms, if you don't want to represent him, you just stop going to court. And the person raises his hand and says that, unfortunately, I've not been hearing from my lawyer, so I think my lawyer has terminated. Or you write to the court with respect to say my services are no longer needed here, I will not be. You write a simple letter, give one to your client. Your client even can raise it. So, yes, that strategy is also there. The new lawyer will apply, as he said, for record of proceedings to say that let us study the record of proceedings and see what we need to do. Again, having applied, those will be some of the things that will be considered in the arresting, sentencing consideration. That we've just been engaged. We have applied for record of proceedings. And mind you, the record of proceedings, I believe, will be ready by now because it is the same thing the judge will go through to give his ruling or that day.
Okay.
So by now, they would have prepared the record of proceedings. So it's likely when you apply for it, it won't take long before you have it. But again, to what end? That is a question we need to ask. Now, lawyers see things differently, just like any human being. You might be seeing half empty, half full, etc. So maybe lawyer Tachia will see it differently. But what end? Is he going to now ask for a new trial, recall of witnesses, re-examination of witnesses? What else?
Well, the court has said that it's not going to change the ruling for July 3rd. So as far as we're concerned...
Yes, that is why I am asking to what end will all this come? Will it be for the purpose of the optics, or will it be for drama? What is it? What are we going to gain out of this thing? Unfortunately, me, the lawyer that is supposed to answer you, I am asking...
You're asking me. I was going to say that I'm in no position to respond to this.
Yes, I'm asking you the question. So it all boils down to the strategy of what they started with.
Okay.
Remember this case. If you remember very well, I'll learn for you. This case had Gary Nimaku somewhere along the line when lawyer Piakubi was doing something and somebody has to withdraw an application. They said that delayed his release from Ioko. So from the beginning, we had, as my friend would say, a convoluted way of doing the things. Now we are coming to the end. The same type of important type of thing is coming up to the end. With all respect to the lawyer. So where are we heading with this? That's the question.
Valid question. And the only people who can respond to this would be lawyer Ndia Piakubi and maybe lawyer Atachi as well. But let me just also welcome Austin Braco Powers. He's a legal practitioner, private legal practitioner. He joins us in the studio. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. But Dr. Ramsey, so I saw a comment from someone and I just wanted to read that and ask what you think. So Bismarck Mensah says swapping of lawyers by Wontumi is just to cause a delay in the judgment, or probably Andy Apiakubi doesn't want his name to be associated with Wontumi going to Nsawam. Maybe that's why he's decided to withdraw. Do you side with this?
Well, I side with one bit, which is the delay. Bella, this change of legal counsel for Wontumi is a politically dramatic turn to the case. And it would have no effect, I think, on the outcome on July 3rd. Let me reiterate and rehash something here. As a Ghanaian, first and foremost, listening to counsel on the other end, who represents the MPP, he made a statement to seem to, I would say, be empathetic towards Wontumi, that he's a Ghanaian and he's a human being. But here's a case. In our legal jurisprudence, we have something we call circumstantial evidence, right? Circumstantial evidence. And the fact that the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, under the MPP then, Honorable Samo Abujinapo, released a statement to that effect to say that Wontumi's Okonta mining was involved in illegal mining in the Tano Nimri forest.
Yes.
Was even an indictment on Wontumi. And that is even a circumstance that we can even give an evidence to point to the fact that Wontumi is guilty of indulging in illegal mining. I am not a court, but I said circumstantial evidence. And lawyers are here. I'm glad we have 3 lawyers here, right? Now, this issue about illegal mining has been on the neck of Ghanaians day and night. Bella, as I sit here today, 60% of our water bodies are gone. Our globally significant biodiversity areas, especially in these forest reserves, are gone. Right? And it is a serious matter, indeed, a national security threat to that effect. And we sit down here and we want to try and defend somebody in the name of politics or in the name of partisan politics. I beg to differ. We have to be Ghanaians first and foremost. One to me sat on a live TV platform, brandishing gold bars. You remember, at the heat of the debates or the sentiment of Ghanaians when it came to illegal mining. Do you remember? This is the same person who claims that he has a kingdom or he runs a kingdom, that he was even summoned and he's untouchable, right? And that he was even summoned at Menchia some time ago for such utterances. This is the same person who was, cleared by the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, of not indulging in illegal mining. I want to say and put it on record that our judiciary has been uplifted than it was before. Don't forget that in 2024, if you look at the Mo Ibrahim Governance Index, our judiciary autonomy declined by 50%. Bella, in a democracy, when your judiciary autonomy declines by 50%, it is dangerous. And that record was set by the MPP. And so if my brother is here to say that, allude to the fact that the case of Wontumi is running like Hussein Bolt and what have you, I beg to differ. I do not think that any of the political actors, be it in government or people that are against Wontumi for what he has done, are influencing the case.
You don't think so?
There's nothing to that effect. Look, what is happening today, the change of the legal counsel is a delay tactic. They are trying to delay the case. Because as of now, the witnesses have been discharged from the case. Evidence has been given in chief. Whatever that has to be examined in this matter has been done. So there's nothing else. I see it as a delay tactics. And I have suffered some in court. For 10 years, I was in court with Pakwesi Ndum.
Okay.
For 10 good years, that has resulted in a judgment that we got last year, November, worth millions of Ghana cedis because of the interest that accrued on the amount. And I must say that, you see, in our legal landscape in Ghana today, I think that we need to really amend certain laws and rules of court, because lawyers try as much as possible to delay. They have these delay tactics that they normally apply in court, these tools that really frustrate.
Strategy
but again, a strategy to what extent?
To benefit their clients,
Bella,
shouldn't they do so? As long as it's not illegal.
No, but I'm saying that we need to strengthen that. Okay. The courts are overwhelmed. You understand what I'm saying? If your client, you are defending your client, defend him on the merits of the case. But do not use legal tools to frustrate or to delay proceedings. Bella, do you appreciate what I'm saying? Because it goes a long way to affecting even individuals, their financial might, you understand, their pockets. It is not easy paying good lawyers for, a span of 10 years that I have survived with Pakwesi Ndum under his Group Indum, one of the subsidiaries of Group Indum. So what I'm saying is that I think that the judiciary has been forthcoming with this matter. They have used all legal tactics. Look, on the 21st of April, they went to the Court of Appeal to stay the proceedings at the, High Court, pending a hearing at the Appeals Court. These are all legal tactics that have been used. And I hear that the initial counsel for Wontumi was not even Apia Kubi. It was the former AG, Godfrey Dami. Did you know that? It was Godfrey Dami that started this case with Wontumi, but he left him along the line. And then
He left him?
Well, for want of a better word, he left him.
Is that what you heard, or that's the fact?
That is a fact. This case started on the 7th of October last year. when did Apia Kubi come into the picture? On the 28th of October. So there was somebody before Apia Kubi. There was somebody there. That's why I'm saying that it was Godfrey Dami from our checks. And don't forget that we came out of that stock. So we still have relevant information in there.
I see.
We have, yes, I mean,
so that's people from within the MPP who are still passing information. You need to rat them out, Ross. Your party needs to rat them out. Hold on, no, Jesse, I'll let you speak when the time is up.
So what I'm saying is that what Apia Kubi is doing is just to save his, as the locals would say, save his face, right? Trying to like make sure that whatever happens to Wontumi does not be on his records, as that he failed.
But that would be unfair because
no, that is what the MPP is actually. That is what they are accusing.
His job was to make sure that his client gets a verdict that favors him.
That is what I'm saying. That internally, the MPP is not happy with Apia Kubi.
So you think that he was dismissed or sort of
indirectly.
Atatua says that's not true.
Well, they can deny it because I'm saying that their move was for the optics.
Okay.
It was a politically dramatic move, and it has not worked for them. That is why the High Court has dismissed that application. And we are hoping that on the 3rd of July, justice will prevail. I do not want to sit here and spear conjecture on this matter. Okay. But I hope that the God of the people would speak. As he always says, Nyaminsa wom, and he does this. Do you remember?
Yes.
He does this. It's a Nyaminsa wom.
That's what he says.
No, but that's a Ghanaian version. Nyaminsa wom.
Nyaminsa wom. Oh, I see. I'm learning something new today. Let me bring Austin.
Allow me to.
Don't worry. You already had too much time. Let Austin speak. You get your time. Don't worry. Okay. And then, so whatever it is you want to say, you write it down so you don't forget. I'll give you the chance. Austin, you're welcome.
Well,
I mean, across the table and of course on social media, there seems to be a concern that maybe this could be a legal tactic delay, sort of. But at the same time, we've heard from Apia Kubi, who also did indicate that he wasn't too happy with how the case was being run in court, which is why he's decided to step down. From where you sit, what are you deducing from all of this?
Bella, good morning and good morning to your viewers. I think this is an intriguing development. One that must attract, and I'm not surprised that it has attracted the attention of Ghanaians. But I have two things to address here. The first has to do with the withdrawal.
Okay.
And the intention to withdraw the legal representation. That is Andy Apia Kubi's intention. And I feel, and the second one will be on the judge's decision.
Okay.
First off, Bella, I think the timing for the withdrawal, does not favor the clients or the party in question, that is Wontumi. Because this is a matter that is ripe for judgment. And you are withdrawing your legal representation. And the basis upon which you are withdrawing your legal representation has to do with the manner in which the court is handling the case. First of all, no lawyer is bound to slave for clients. In other words, lawyers can withdraw their representation at any time. But when you read the legal professional conduct and etiquette rules 2020, LI 2324, 2423, it makes it clear. Bella, no, it's 2324. LI 2324. Bella, it makes it clear that there are two instances a lawyer can withdraw his or her representation. First off, when the case is not before the court. And second, when the case is before the court.
Okay.
So in the first instance, a lawyer can withdraw immediately just by mere notice to the client. But in the second instance, the rules have made it clear that subject to the rules and the direction of the court. Consistently, when you read particularly when you read rules 85 to 88, of LI 2324, it makes it clear that subject to the rules, these rules, and the direction of the court. What does it mean? At a point where the case is before a judge, you need, or before a court, you need the direction of the court. It is important to point out that, and the Apia Kubi's withdrawal, for me, does not help matters, or did not help matters, or his intention to withdraw did not help matters, or will not help matters because this is a case where, a case involving a high-profile individual, particularly an opposition high figure or key figure, and his posturing, and in fact, after the judge's decision, his public utterances, and he said that with this case, anyone who takes it from here will either face disgrace or glory.
What's wrong with that statement?
I think
there are two verdicts to be had here.
No, the thing is that in matters like this, the best option, the best form of communication is silence.
So even after the judge's ruling on this, he should have just kept quiet.
If you want to talk about the decision of the judges, okay, but when you dabble in such matters, it's like you are playing into the public arena because already there are two, the opinions are divided as to the guilt or otherwise of Untumi.
Yes.
So sometimes as a lawyer, you should also be cautious of your public utterances. If you are withdrawing, my best suggestion, Bella, would have been for him to keep quiet. If you have issues to say, or if you have any commentaries with regard to the judge's decision, you are entitled to do so, but do not dabble in the case which is before the judge.
Okay. If that's the case, would you say that an earlier comment where he said that at this point they need Ghanaians to pray for his clients, would you say that as well was also, in quoted distasteful comment to make at that point?
Bella, this case, I've said that, and the appear could be posturing did not help matters. His posturing. Because it appears there was infighting in their own camp. Because there are some comments he passed, it gives you an indication that he's fighting a battle, not the one in court, but the battle behind the scene. And if you wanted to withdraw your services, you could have done that in the beginning, but not when it is right for judgment.
Does it really matter?
Stand with the client to the end.
Okay.
Unless the client has misconducted himself in a manner or is engaged in illegality, for which reason you do not want to condone such attitude. But if he has nothing to do with your client, but he has everything to do with, as he claims, the court, then I think it's not in the best.
So that's why we're asking that, was it really his decision to withdraw his services? Or like you're saying, it was obvious that there was some infighting in the background. Could that have been the reason why he was probably pushed out and was forced to come out and say he's the one withdrawing his services?
Well, Council representing the governing National Democratic Congress made a point, and the point was clear that Chairman Untumi could have just served notice to the court that I'm changing my counsel. But filing a motion before a court, you are just being too dramatic. You are being too dramatic. If you want to withdraw your services, you could just tell your clients, just file a notice of change of solicitors. Simple.
Stop going yourself.
Simple. What do you do? Why do you engage in this drama? Letting Ghanaians know that you're going to withdraw your services at a time when the case is ripe for judgment, at a crucial case like this. No. Sometimes, you see, we are not, as lawyers, we don't like to criticize our own colleagues, but sometimes you look at the manner you conduct the case, you ask yourself whether you are being fair to the client.
So in this case, he's not being fair.
In fact, after the judge's decision, the court's decision, I monitored, Chairman Untumi was standing by him when he was, and the Appeal Court was granting interview. Look at his demeanor. Look at his posture. Sometimes you can read the person's posture. We have a duty, to our client, to the court, and the public. In this case, I don't think and the Appeal Court conducted himself in a manner that shows that he has discharged himself he has discharged a dutiful service to the client and the public.
If you were a lawyer attached here and you had to take over this case at this crucial point, what would you do? Also being aware that the court says that regardless of what happens with your legal representation, the verdict will still be had or given on the 3rd.
And the judge is right. What is there to be done?
Can he delay the process?
Delay what? When the case is before a judge, the judge is the umpire. The judge controls proceedings in court.
the speed.
Everything. And Bella, let me address something. I mean, there's a misconception that the manner in which the judge conducted the case, that is asking them to come every time, is a problem. Is it a problem in this country? Are we not complaining that judges are delaying cases in this country? Are you not thankful to the judge that he is speeding up the process? What is so, biased about what the judge did? Sometimes, in our attempt to criticize, let's be fair to the facts. Because we are calling on the current Chief Justice to speed up the process. By which reason the Chief Justice has created some new courts, including the Galamsey Court, to expedite some of these issues. So why are you saying that the way the judge rushed the case, are you not happy? In fact, I was happy. If the judge could have conducted the case, Bella, within 5 months, I would have been happy. Because it is within his right to do so. And it is within their right to do so. You get it? So there's no issue. Those who are creating issues out of this have nothing to talk about.
Including Andy Apiaku.
He has nothing to talk about because the thing is that the judge is the one who controls the case. The moment you bring your case before her, she's in charge. And if she tells you with your connivance that let's conduct this case within the space of 2 months, 3 months, can you do that? And the judge will not impose the duration on the parties. The judge will ask you, can you do it within the stated period? When you agree, the judge will also sanction.
Which is what I'm asking, and very quickly, maybe 30 seconds on this. If you were a lawyer attached here at this point, in this very critical position, what would be your first card to play?
The first thing is to find out if Andy Apiaku has not filed his written address.
Okay.
If he has not, you should file it because the judge is saying that whether you file it or not,
they'll still give their verdict.
You go ahead. So go and file it. If you believe that you have evidence, that can create doubt in the evidence adduced by the prosecution. Your written address will help you.
Okay.
Otherwise, the judge will decide the matter based on the evidence before her.
So he cannot file an application, if I'm right, by saying that he's now taking over the case. He needs to study the progression of the case and understand it better before the verdict is given. In so doing, maybe the judge can push the verdict.
Well, it's an option. It's an option he can exercise.
Okay.
But it is subject to
the judge.
Of course.
Okay. Let me bring Ross back in because you wanted to make a few points.
Yes. A very quick one. You see, this is a very huge platform. The TV3 platform is a very huge one. So when we make statements on this platform, it must be statements that will help advance the education that we seek to give our viewers and listeners. You see, he made a point that circumstantial evidence points to the fact that Wontumi has engaged in illegal mining. You understand? He made allusion to the fact that a court judgment and a law states that circumstantial evidence is also law in Ghana. That is true. But you see, the same law also tells you that multitude of suspicion does not constitute proof.
Okay.
In the case of the state versus Ali Kasna, this is what the judge had to say on circumstantial evidence. And let me read, so that when you are using circumstantial evidence to pronounce guilt on another person, you'll be very minded. The court in the state versus Ali Kasna mentioned that circumstantial evidence is completely admissible. However, the law of evidence requires that all incriminating circumstances must form an unbroken logical chain that points exclusively to the guilt without leaving room for any rational interpretation. And we are telling you that the presumption of innocence still operates in the favor of Chairman Wontumi. He also made a comment that justice must be served on 3rd July. You see, Bella, justice is not only when Chairman Wontumi goes behind the bars. That is not the only way justice will be served.
How else?
Justice could also be served when Chairman Wontumi is also freed and pronounced not guilty in all the charges that has been. It is not as if that by all means, for justice to be served, Chairman Wontumi must go to jail. That is the narrative out there. And it is very wrong. At least we are lawyers here. We should be very mindful the kind of comments we are allowing to pass in this country. Because let me tell you something. If these things continue, I told you it becomes a precedent. And in future, when somebody is standing trial for similar offenses, the same scale, the same metrics will be run
by that person, and this is very, very dangerous. Let us presume the person to be innocent. Let the court pronounce its judgment before we make comments like this.
But there's the law of public opinion, of course.
But the law of public opinion is not the law.
Exactly,
it's not
but
the law.
I
So we
don't
should
think
not
that
give...
based on comments made by public individuals, the judge will make.
No, I'm making the comment based on what he's sitting here has made.
Regardless of how people view the case, the final verdict is coming from the judge. Is it not? Hold on, Doc. The final verdict will still come from the judge anyway.
Exactly.
So it really doesn't matter what people think of the case, does it?
But Wontumi is a human being.
Ghanaians are human beings.
Ghanaians are human beings too. So you don't pronounce. So that's why we have rules. I mean, anybody here on this table can tell me if I'm wrong. That it is proper for even panelists on TV programs to think that justice can only be served when Wontumi is behind bars. It is proper for Ghanaians to think that the only way justice will be served is when Wontumi is caged.
Let me ask you this question.
That is not
proper.
proper.
At the time,
we shouldn't allow this thing to continue.
We're going back to this statement by the Natural Resources Ministry. At the time when that statement came out, that he didn't have a license, his company, Akunta Mining, didn't have a license to go into the Tanonimri forest to mine. When that statement came out, how did you think Ghanaians were supposed to react to that? Because your own minister, your own party member is saying you didn't have access, they didn't grant you access, yet you went in there to still go and mine.
That is why we are in court. That is why the case is before the court. And that is why the court is going to make pronouncement. So why can't we just wait for the court to make pronouncement to even ascertain whether what the minister said was true or not? The fact that the minister has come out to say something doesn't mean that is the gospel truth. It doesn't mean it is the gospel truth.
Okay. Well, that's a separate case, by the way. So let's see how that case goes.
She has dragged me into this.
I'll give you the chance. To be fair, let's come in.
This is not proper.
Counsel, your emotions are
no emotions. I'm very okay. I'm not exhibiting any emotions. I'm only stating what the law should be.
Okay, when you were talking, I was quiet like a kindergarten teacher. So allow me that privilege. I gave the case of Jechi question, which was daily. Yesterday, I saw Atachia being asked Jechi question and election petition. He conveniently chose the election petition to say that after election petition, is somebody's family dismembered. But let's come to Jachi question. The court was saying daily. I understand, and I can say on the authority, that the current AG says such a thing should not be done on anybody. That is why you don't see daily trial. Now, you're talking about the fact that if, you remember a certain George Floyd?
Yes.
And Derek Chauvin, I think that was the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yes.
You know how long the trial lasted? 6 weeks. That is the sort of thing counsel is saying we should be trying to achieve. In certain jurisdictions, you are given the time, let's say 2 months, for the preparation and everything. You come to court and the judge says, I have 2 weeks for this case, or 3 weeks, or 1 month. Can we do it this way? Then you know you are coming. The other question they keep asking is that, so does it mean that he can't do anybody's case apart from that one? It's about priority.
Okay.
It's about priority, and he is not only one. If he's the only person in chambers, then he should let the others go. Look at which one is of importance to attach to. Now, we cannot choose that for them to do. But you would have thought that a case involving Chairman Wontumi, for which, I mean, with all intents and purposes, people even went on demonstration and sat on Iyoko floor, the floor in front of Iyoko, etc. It will be high up there in whatever they want to do. So now, I want to address the issue my colleague here made about doctor says justice must be done on 3rd July. Indeed, doctor, I know my talk later, didn't say justice must be done one way.
Exactly.
He said justice must be done. And justice being done equally. No. We were here. We all listened to it. Doctor will say it. Yes, justice will be done. You see, let us contextualize what we are going through here. Let's contextualize. And I'm saying that it is about the fact that the president made a promise that we'll be fighting Galamsey. We'll go after the kingpins of Galamsey. Now, you hear them few months ago talking about the fact that the government of the NDC is not showing a will to go fight Galamsey. They are fighting Galamsey now. You say we are fighting it too quickly. What do we want us to do again? To fight it slowly? Then you come back to say that we are not fighting it well. No. You see, the strategy that they have employed borrow a leaf from Braco Powers appear to have been flawed from the beginning. We don't know what the end game will be. And I keep asking you what the end game will be. So as a lawyer, maybe we are learning now. We have not reached Andy Apiakubi's level or Atachia's level. But when you get a case, just like in football or any game, first question you should be asking yourself is, what is my strategy? How am I going to go about this? Do I advise my clients quickly that looking at the evidence they have presented, let's go on this way? Or do I say that, hey, we are in the 60-40 or 80-20 category. Let's go head on to see. And sometimes I understand if there's a delay tactic in criminal law, because sometimes in criminal law, delay tactic makes the other party, the pain goes down.
Yeah.
But this one, the other party involved here are Ghanaians. So whose pain is going to go down? Assuming delay is a strategy. If I had come to assault you and we are in court, after about 2, 3, 4 months, the pain will go down. You say, I'm forgiving lawyer, let it go. So sometimes, let us get this done quickly. Whatever it is, I don't know what can be done between today and 3rd of July to change the course of what is going to happen. Because the judge says that whatever you are bringing, I'm going to deliver anyway.
Going to deliver. Money says, yes, we're all judges in our country. Neodick says, okay, you're asking who to me is a human being. Of course, he is, just like Ghanaians are as well. Samuel Awuja says that, where was he when Chachu was hurriedly jailed in this country? Takeaway says, who to me is a human being more than Ghanaians? Prince says, okay, everybody's talking about being human beings. Okay, Brad Theo says that, did Wontumi have the authority to mine in the Nimri forest or not? Forest reserves and water bodies demand justice. That's Desiree, Marvin, Chelsea. And just heard that, okay, you're talking about Ken Uforiata. That's not the subject of conversation. Neodig Nia Tukwe says, destroying our environment and water bodies that sustains human life is a crime against humanity. We should support the government to prosecute suspected ones rather than being partisan. We're all Ghanaians and equal before the law. Let me bring Doc in on this as well. You wanted to respond. Mr. Theo has already responded for you.
Let me tap into your ending remarks. We are all Ghanaians and equal before the laws. My statement here today did not, my ending remarks, I said that justice must be served. I didn't say that Wontumi must be jailed. Counsel is trying to be mischievous here, but of course, I can understand him. It is a very, very difficult task to sit here to defend Wontumi. You understand what I'm saying? I gave an example. I said circumstantial evidence. Now, leading to the press release by the Ministry for Natural Resources, Lands and Natural Resources, there were a lot of evidence before the minister given by the Forestry Commission and that of EPA against Akonta mining. Do you know that even during that time in 2022, thereabout, 2 of the youth members of the Aggrieved Youth Association of Samaboy were shot by tags of Akonta mining? Do you know that? That led to this press release. So please, let us be measured in what we say. We are Ghanaians first and foremost. This Galamsey menace is killing the lives of very, very innocent people, right? It's taking the livelihoods of very innocent Ghanaians. And it is going to be a threat going forward. I mean, we have till 2030 to bring an end to these anthropogenic activities of these illegal miners. If we are not able to put a stop to it, we will pay a dire consequences on it. So please, let us be nationalistic with these issues of Galamsey. Wontumi, indeed, is a Galamsey kingpin. There's no two ways about that.
It is, you can't say that.
I am saying that. I am.
You can't say that.
Excuse me.
Let's allow the courts to determine.
Yamin is not before the court.
Let's allow the courts to determine that.
Excuse me.
How come Yamin is not before the court?
Excuse me. Yokos, we are waiting for the outcome of the investigation.
No, we shouldn't be selective when it comes to application of justice. We shouldn't do that.
We are waiting for the outcome of the investigation.
But let's not make definite statements.
But I'm saying that, Bella, take it as it is. We know for a fact that Wontumi is a Galamsey kingpin. You cannot take that away.
This clearly tells you the kind of justice he is seeking for.
Oh.
With the comment he has just made.
Let Austin.
Well, this is a critical case and one which would define our anti-Galamsey fight. My charge to the judge is to go ahead and discharge your duties.
Okay.
Be faithful to the facts and not to be assuaged by any public commentaries. And I agree with Councillor Jimega that this is an important one and one that many Ghanaians are looking forward to. In fact, we decried the manner in which our environment and water bodies are being polluted by some of these activities. And the promise of the governing National Democratic Congress, in the heat of the campaign, one of them was to fight the Galamsey head on.
Yeah.
And that they will go for the kingpins.
Yeah.
If Buntumi is one of them, the judge will decide.
Okay.
Because the judge reserves the right to decide whether or not he is a kingpin or not, and whether or not to jail him. But my thing is that, and my advice to the opposition in New Patriotic Party is that their public commentaries must be nuanced. It must be one that should reflect that they want justice to be done, not one that should reflect that they want justice to be burned.
Repeat that again. So they want.
so I'm saying that the opposition New Patriotic Party must ensure that their public commentaries and utterances with regard to the ongoing case, especially the July 3rd judgment, should be one that will advance justice and one that will not bend justice.
Okay. Okay.
Because when justice is bent, it means that we are not being faithful to the facts. Then it becomes a case of he who has the power has the will. Then what about the ordinary Ghanaian who do not have powers? So we must be careful in our public utterances. Let's advance one that will help the courts. And we have decried, I've said, Bella, that we have decried the manner in which our courts have been slow. If we have one with a judge who is speeding up the process, and as Councillor Jimega said, the judge didn't even conduct the case every day. It was not a daily trial. So if they space out and you feel that you're already inundated with a lot of cases, then you could have decided to withdraw from the beginning for him to have chosen a different one. Someone who would be ready to put his or her foot or boot in the mud. But at the moment, I think his decision to withdraw was dramatic, was needless, and does not serve the interests of his
clients. Well, you are getting a lot of good comments on social media. They're saying "Braku to the powers." Today you are speaking. Well, I don't know about the other days, but obviously statements that you made in the past, a number of people did not really align with them. But today they say, "Hey, Braku to the powers." Okay, so I guess I just needed to read that for you. But very quickly, I only have just about 8 minutes. I wanted us to briefly touch on our second topic, maybe a minute each for all of you, to speak on the issue of Dr. Bosman Asare and his decision to resign from his position as deputy EC chair. So we're told that he sent the letter this month, but it will take effect from July 31, 2026. As to whether government had a hand in it or not, well, we've heard from government spokesperson, and he says that government did not have any hand in this. Dr. Bosman Asare decided on his own to resign from his position. Maybe I'll start off with you, Ross. Just 1 minute on this so we can...
Bella, you like starting off with me. I mean...
Should I go back to...
No, that's fine, that's fine.
Okay.
It's amazing how government communication sometimes is very quick. You know, once the thing happens, within some few minutes, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye is out there informing the public. The former Chief Justice, Sophia Ekufu, who is on the Council of State, resigned September 2025. We only got to know yesterday, courtesy Asase Radio. So we expect that the frequency at which government informs us of situations or happenings in the country should apply to all circumstances.
Okay.
Let me come back to the matter before us. The NDC government came to power on the back of a reset, and we have seen series of resets happening. You know, in the judiciary, we've seen the Chief Justice being booted out. We have seen about 11 appointments of Supreme Court judges, about 21 appointments to the Court of Appeal, and about 37 or more to the High Court. This is practical reset. I have no doubt in my mind that Dr. Bosman Asare did not resign on his own volition. It is clear. And if you read in between the lines and you give time some time, you realize that the ultimate aim is the EC chairperson herself. And on this show, I am stating without more that Dr. Bosman Asare is only a conduit. They are only using him to get to the. Him? Who else?
You are saying
they are going to reset the EC. No. The EC is on reset.
But they are saying that he voluntarily resigned.
And I'm also saying I also have an opinion. I have an opinion to reject what they are saying.
Okay, so your opinion.
So what I'm saying is that we should buy some time here and give time some time. The EC is the ultimate target, and they will go there. And when they go there, invite me on this show.
Okay, we will. But you said you also have an opinion. Same way the public has an opinion. So why is that one? You had a problem with it. Let me bring. I don't have time, unfortunately. I just wanted to put that before you. But Mr. Theo, I have just 1 minute for you.
Yes, I know you have 1 minute. Let me do it this way. First, you are a lawyer. Now, appointments made to the High Court under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama were largely, apart from 3 persons who were already on the Circuit Court and who were appointed by Nana Akufo-Addo. Simple. Now, the other 3 that were appointed were also with the Attorney General's department. So the idea that they made these appointments is neither here nor there. Number 2, when we understand that when Ladyship Chief Justice Emeritus resigned, the Council of State says, hold on, let's engage her. Let's see if we can convince her to rethink and stay with us. That is why there was a delay in doing the announcement. Yeah. We know all this. Now, for Bosman Asare, I mean, from where I sit, he's a young man. There's a professorship waiting for him. He can go back and take his professorial title. As I'm here, I'm waiting for the day I'll be called Dr. T.K. Jimega. Yes, and I'll be. You can't wait. So, I mean, let's until there is a contrary. The presumption is that the right thing was done, and we were told that he resigned. He thanked all of us, and he's gone. Where is the idea about the government being involved? We know the process for removal of EC deputy commissioners and EC commissioner. It doesn't involve the government. Somebody has to trigger. Indeed, with Bosman and the rest, there was a trigger, which they scaled that bar. So wherein lies the government in this? Let us just not give. If we are to give time a time, that time will not come. Let's leave it. But let me end here quickly. Just give me a second. 2 people. My body is called Eddie Namdebwe. Today is his birthday. Oh, okay. Eddie, happy birthday. And another one, ACP retired Richard Kumoko. Good morning, sir. Enjoy the day.
You should have sent us their photos, so we put them up. At the end of the show, we actually project birthday celebrants. Doc.
Yes, Bella, indeed. It has come to our notice with great joy that Bosman Asare is leaving. And then also...
With great joy.
With great joy. With great joy. Oh. I mean, anybody that is a consummate Democrat and really supports democracy should have great joy in their hearts today.
Oh.
Nana, we've seen issues of electoral mismanagement in this country. Issues where there were illegal alleged illegal conduct by Bosman Asare, Tete, and then the whole EC boss. We've seen times where in an election, general election, results have been declared more than 5 times with different numbers. We've seen issues where when we had missing BVDs or BVR machines, they denied it in the initial press release, but then they later accepted that indeed these things happen.
Yeah.
We want to state as a united party that going forward, we need reforms within our constitution. We do not want to see the old MPP, NDC, EC, brouhaha all the time. And Bella, we are calling for number 1, amendment of Article 89 of the 1992 Constitution. We want the Council of State to be abolished.
Oh.
And in place of the Council of State, we want Ghana to transition into a bicameral parliamentary system, which would be made up of non-state actors and non-political actors that would be mandated to appoint heads of independent constitutional bodies like the EC.
Okay.
And so going forward, the EC and head deputies should be appointed by a second chamber and not under Article 70 of the 1992 Constitution. And I think that that would really balance power and would ensure that we mitigate the issues of partisan selection. Bosman Asari is a known TESCON patron.
We have 30 seconds.
He said NEC is a threat to democracy.
I'm saying that Bosman Asari, Bella, is a known TESCON patron of the MPP. And how would you appoint such a person to conduct a general election? Indeed, the EC has to be politically neutral and independent. You take a TESCON patron to the EC to conduct. Oh, please,
relax.
While you are speaking, I did not interject. Please, Bella. Anyway, I rest my case. But lastly, let me also wish. Anyway, you know.
You've allowed yourself to be bullied by him.
No problem. I mean,
all right.
Let me wish my brother Ahmed Inusa a happy birthday.
All right.
He has been a great partner. You know, when I say partner, as a sibling, and we've had a great relationship. And I wish him all the best in his life endeavor.
Council.
Bella, this is, once again, a surprising development. I think many Ghanaians have been anticipating a time where there will be a shake-up at the commission. The Electoral Commission, per my count, has been very pathetic.
Oh.
Yes, the commission has been very pathetic.
And
it has to do with their manner. Because, some of the commentaries they made prior to their appointment affected them. And my caution is that Ghanaians should be watching closely the commission, because the governing National Democratic Congress will be appointing 2 deputy ECs.
Yeah.
There's a real risk of tension, particularly between those that will be appointed by this government and those appointed by the previous administration. The government must stamp its authority where tensions rear their heads so that we can stamp them out immediately and solve the problem. The commission is very important. We must protect it, but we should not allow people's petty partisan tricks to affect their overall.
All right.
That is
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bella, since I did not have the
Good morning
opportunity-
to
Bella.
Lawyer Samson Ayenini. He says, welcome back. Your preparation always shows. I don't know if I should read the second part. You know the case better than someone. Cheers. Okay. Thank you, Lawyer. It's good to have you also in my DMs. Well, yes, Council Theo says he misses you as well. David Elikem says, please, a case was in court when a sitting president asked the people of Asin North if they would vote for someone who will go to jail, in quote. Okay, I see. A lot of messages. Let me just read 1 or 2 and then we can go. Powers. Today is dedicated for you. Enjoy. And they've added fire emojis. David Elikem Rollins. I like how Bella says Braku to the Powers passionately. I learned it from people. You are the ones who are writing it in the comment section. So that's why I'm saying it as well. All right. Ya February says, NDC in opposition and government have told Ghanaians to remove Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu and the 3 heads of EC. So if the governments have successfully removed Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu on frivolous grounds since 2012 has been a practice for all Chief Justices, the possibility of the government removing Mr. Bosman Asari and his boss is high after the retirement of Mr. Samuel Tete. So if Mr. Bosman Asari has resigned as Deputy Commissioner, he only wants his peace rather than frustration through removal processes. Okay, and I think my time is up. I have to go. What is Jean Mensah still doing there? She should follow. That's Ghana Shall Rise. Hey, Ghana Shall Rise, relax. Why MPP communicators always play saints? How many judges did former President Akufo-Addo appoint to the Supreme Court? Okay, I have to go. But another one I saw earlier, they said that it looks like Austin Brakupas really wants Chairman Wontumi to be jailed. I didn't see the name of the person, but yeah. Well, we'll end it here, but thank you so much, gentlemen. You wanted to wish someone a happy birthday?
Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry.
I want to make a passionate appeal to the government regarding the World Cup match tickets. Some people are already in the US and they cannot have access to the tickets. We are begging the government.
they should help in that direction, so that willing Ghanaians that want to support their country will have the opportunity to do
All
that.
right. And you are speaking for yourself because you want a ticket as well. I thought you said you are going on Saturday, so you are looking for a ticket. I have to go. Big Issue is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. And of course, whether you are aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communications, operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation, or business intelligence analytics, or you want to advance through a dual MBA or Chartered Manager MBA, University of Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And so if your next step is an MSc in International Relations, Communications, International Marketing, International Law, Security and Diplomacy, Accounting and Finance, or Human Resource Management, or you just want an LLM in International Law, Security, Diplomacy, or MA in Biblical Studies or Practical Theology, then the pathway is open. Apply today, because at the University of Gold Coast, we make it practical. Flexible learning, flexible entry, and flexible payment. Study around your work and life, choose a course that fits your background, and pay in convenient installments. Your dream deserves structure, and your future deserves strategy. Your purpose also deserves training. So apply now, www.ugc.edu.gh, or call or WhatsApp them on 026-388-8555. University of Gold Coast, building leaders for the nations. In the studios this morning, I've had Dr. Ramsey Nusay, he's the Director of Political Research, United Party. Austin Braku Powers is a private legal practitioner. Now we'll call him Braku to the Powers. Ross Oseo, who's a private legal practitioner and a member of the MPP, and Theophilus Jimega is a private legal practitioner and member of the NDC.
Will be representing Ghana.
We have to
support
Ghana.
Ghana.
This question I cannot ask.
No, I want to ask you guys in the US.
We'll be back with more.